Lee Saunders explains.
The RBA governor has told senators she expects inflation to peak at more than 4.5%, warning future predictions remain uncertain while the Middle East conflict remains ongoing. Appearing in Senate estimates, members of the RBA board discussed the state of Australia's economy, with early indicators rate hikes made so far this year are taking effect.
We've already seen some signs that this tightening is starting to work, though it will take around 1 to 2 years for the full effects to fully flow through to the economy.
The Prime Minister will use a speech today to defend contentious changes outlined in his government's latest budget. Anthony Albanese is expected to argue the reforms are necessary to protect Australians from social and economic dislocation being seen overseas. The days of algorithms deciding who gets federal aged care funding and at what level could soon be over. Gabrielle Hodson has more.
Last November, humans were removed from the decision-making process to work out aged care packages. Doctors branded the so-called integrated assessment tool unsafe, with MPs and others saying it had failed hundreds of older Aussies. But today, the federal opposition is set to announce plans for an amendment to the Aged Care Act. Senator Anne Ruston has told News Corp her private member's bill would put humans back in control and make the process more transparent. She singled out cases where the algorithm's given people minimal funding before a human reassessment's put them on the highest category.
A Nepalese guide thought to have died on Mount Everest 6 days ago has turned up alive after his funeral rites had begun. The 52-year-old was last seen in the mountain's so-called death zone, where oxygen levels are too low for long-term survival. Researchers have ruled out a popular theory on how the Stonehenge rocks were moved. New modelling has determined transport by glacier ice wouldn't have been possible given the boulder's age. Curtin University's Dr Anthony Clark says the more the ancient monument is studied, the more questions he has.
So it really does look like that humans around 4,000 years ago transported the altar stone 700 kilometres southwards to be at Stonehenge. How they did that? They could have used boats, they could have used rollers, it could have been a epic journey over land or over sea. We may never know that answer.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jess. A huge win for Adelaide overnight, beating Geelong by a point in a thriller last night in front of more than 42,000 fans. The Crows were smashed by injuries in the final term, with Callum Archie and Jordan Butts both off with soft tissue injuries, while first gamer Hugo Hawke-Kahan was forced off after a nasty collision. That was with teammate Toby Murray. But the Crows managed to find a way, led by their skipper, who collected 22 touches and booted 3 goals. Coach Matthew Nick says Jordan Dawson is inspiring.
Probably one that doesn't surprise me, or doesn't surprise us. That's why he's our captain. He just finds a way. He marked towards the end there. He had no right to mark that, and he did.
Amazing game. There are 4 Aussies in the top 10 in the first round of the Women's US Open of Golf in California. Karis Davidson and Minjee Lee are 1 shot back behind the lead. Hannah Green and Steph Kiriako are just 2 shots behind. The women's final is locked in for the French Open. 19-year-old Russian Mira Andreeva will face Polish qualifier Maya Hulinska. And in the NBA, the New York Knicks have taken a 1-0 lead in their final series against the San Antonio Spurs after coming from behind to win Game 1. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the FIVEAA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy on Sunday, partly cloudy and 19 for the holiday Monday. Right now it's just 8 degrees on FIVEAA, always Adelaide.
Hilux, an unbreakable connection since 1968. The new Hilux is here to take you from the worksite to the weekend with confidence. If you're looking for a ute that Australia knows and trusts, Hilux has been proving itself for generations. Plus, every new Hilux comes standard with capped price servicing. Conditions apply. Experience the new Hilux difference and take a test drive today at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park.
Thank you, South Australia. For the 3rd time in a row, the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early again. And that's because every ticket funds life-changing medical research to support better care and better outcomes for South Australians, like you and your family. Miss out this time? Become a member today to guarantee your tickets and never miss out again. Life-changing prizes. Life-changing impact. Homelottery.com.au. Licence M14944.
Hi, I'm Nick Chigwin from Physio Extra. Our advertising on AA, I think, has been really successful in getting our brand out there. I'm a believer that we've got to be consistently on the radio or get our name out there. You don't need a physio every day or every week. When you do, though, we want to make sure Physio Extra is top of mind, and I think 5AA has been excellent in doing that for us and getting our name out there consistently for a long period of time.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise with Us link.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia, with a new fleet and plenty of hybrid options too. Experience the exceptional service that earned us Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. Book direct and save now at redspot.com.au today, or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Ever dreamed of trekking Kokoda? This is more than a bucket list adventure. It's a chance to test your mental and physical strength on a trek that lives in Australian legend while helping fund life-changing suicide prevention research. Register now to join Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation's Kokoda Trek from October 5 to 14, an unforgettable 8-day challenge through the Papua New Guinea jungle. Help create a life free from mental illness. Visit breakthroughfoundation.org.au.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Nine after 6, a very good morning to you. Welcome to 5AA Breakfast. Coming up on the program this morning, we might squeeze in a little bit of footy chat if we can, here and there and maybe even everywhere else.
Back, baby.
Also on the program, state budget yesterday, we have a wrap after 7. The Treasurer will be joining us after 7:30 as well. It is a Friday morning, which means Timmy G will be on the program. We'll get his thoughts on the footy last night. We've got the World Cup of South Australia coming up, Feedback Friday, Meat Tray Friday. It is a big, big morning on 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Now, I didn't go to the game. I didn't see the game until the game was over, and then even then I only saw it in 10-minute mini-game on Foxtel form. But from what
seriously?
I saw, I was out. I was at a book launch. A mate of mine has written a very moving and informative and helpful book about dementia, about his wife's battle with early onset dementia. Bloody breaks your heart, that book. Absolutely brilliant. It's called Oh, What a Nice Giraffe, and it's written by Adelaide, now retired lawyer, Kerry Goodall. We should do something about it on the show next week. It'd be very good to get him on. He's a brilliant bloke. But yeah, so then I had dinner afterwards with some mates, and I was just checking the app. Well, what a result.
I'll give you my 3.5 dot point review of the game, if you'd like, in a moment.
I want it.
The Meat Tray Friday today, thanks to the great people at Olga's Fine Foods. State budget yesterday. We are wondering this morning about your own personal budget. Forget the state budget. What about your family budget? You know, this is a tough time for state and federal governments and budgets everywhere trying to rein in spending or trying to rein in spending. I did the inverted commas there for people on the YouTube and Facebook live stream. What's something that will never be removed from your personal family budget? What's something that will never, ever be removed from your personal family budget? It might be food. It might be a subscription to something. It might be sporting related. Might be go to your loyalty to a football team, perhaps.
Well, yeah, a lot of people would that'd be their thing.
What
wouldn't it?
is something that will never, ever be cut from your family budget? Or what would be the hardest thing to cut from it? Let's put it that way. 8223 text us on 0480 08 1395 and you could win that Olga's Fine Food meat tray. Okay, so here's my 3.5 big takeaways from the Crows game last night. I'm doing this for your benefit because I think if people watch, I don't think any of this will be particularly earth-shattering to them. Jordan Dawson played one of the great games of football last night.
Yeah.
And he's played a lot of terrific games of football. That was one of the great games of football under trying conditions against an incredible opponent. That bloke's marking in the wet.
Yeah.
He had one sequence you would have seen in the highlights where he took a contested mark against two Geelong defenders, kicked a goal from 50, kicking to the Riverbank end, that was taking the P155. That was one of those things where sometimes you go and watch Amos play and there'll be a bloke playing in the C grade and you go, what is happening? Why is this guy? So he's pinged his hammy. He's actually the A's, B and F, but he's come down. He's just having a jog around today.
Yeah.
And he just looks better than everyone. That's what Jordan Dawson looked like last night. That was just an unbelievable performance.
It was certainly in the highlights reel.
Secondly, Dan Curtin. That was a Dan Curtin arrival moment, that game. His body and his physicality in those conditions were unbelievable. He was just bigger and stronger and more athletic. He won clearances. He had 26 touches, I think, in the end. So he's always had an impact. He just hasn't had a lot of it. He got a lot of it last night and had a huge impact.
Is he a midfielder?
Well, everyone wants him to be a midfielder. He's been last year. He came to prominence playing a bit on the wing. He's played a bit on the wing. He's played a bit in the centre. Got a very important centre clearance late in the game last night that led to the Darcy Fogarty mark and reviewed kick for goal. Third, Hugo Hall Kahan.
What about this kid?
I mean, David, I don't want to make a big deal of this, but who would hate the romance of the mid-season draft? It's provided us with one of the great stories in footy this year. This bloke had a regular job last week. Last night he was instrumental in a win over against a top side in front of 50,000 people.
That was a good story.
He was terrific. I was in so many text threads with people last night going, how bad are AFL recruiters? How is this bloke not in the AFL?
Yeah.
He's running, he's kicking. It was so impressive. And the poor bloke had his face split open by Toby Murray late in the game.
Yeah.
And it cut to his mum and dad in the stands. And Alf and I just looked at each other and went, imagine being his parents. I mean, he's a whirlwind ride, but he's living it. You're just sort of observing and you're watching he's suddenly, he's taking all before him. Then his face is smeared all over his nose was mushed all over his face.
Well, it didn't wipe the smile off his face because I saw the post-match interview with him and, yeah, what a great story. I've never... The giving a young person an opportunity part of it, that part of the mid-season draft is...
Yeah, I'm only teasing.
No, I know you are.
My last point five before we move on, Taylor Walker was drafted in 2007. Yeah. That's almost 20 years ago. He was the best key forward in a game on Thursday night footy against the top side in 2026. That bloke does not look like he's anywhere close to being a spent force.
I know. It's remarkable.
Anyway.
But the thing I found amazing, and admittedly watching the highlights review by definition, seeing the best parts of the game, but so I was in Goodger Street, popping in and out of the restaurant, and every time I went outside, I was like, my God, it's like Antarctica here. The game must be... And I was saying to my mates at dinner, because none of us were watching the game, we have our phones off while we were all sitting there, but I went in and I said, it's blowing a gale, it's so wet, it's so cold.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it must be a terrible game of football. It didn't. It looked like a
all.
really good, high-standard game.
It genuinely was. It was one of the games of the season. We will talk more about it over the course of the morning, but we're feeling generous, so if you'd like to discuss, you certainly can. 8223 text us on 0480 08 1395.
We could talk about state debt all morning.
Well, we could. That's the other option.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Thankfully, we've got some good Meat Tray Friday calls coming through for people who want to talk about their own home budget and things they will never remove from the home budget. Warwick and Mitcham, good morning.
G'day, boys. What a beautiful, beautiful morning it is. And that leads me into what will never leave my budget. That's my Crows and Saka membership.
Yeah. Oh, good man. How long have you had the Crows membership for, Warwick?
Ever since I moved up to Adelaide, so 09. I reckon since it's moved to the Oval, I've missed about maybe a dozen games.
Oh, you're a diehard, Warwick. And so the Saka membership, were you on before you were born?
No. Once again, because I've been from Mount Gambier originally, I had to do the whole wait list. I got it for the They've got it in 2010, so there's just then. So, but apart from anything else, I think my wife wants me out of the house at times as well. So.
Hey, good on you, Warwick. You're in the running to win the meat tray, thanks to Olga's Fine Foods. William in Mansfield Park, good morning.
Good morning, boys. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the meat tray last Friday. It was fantastic.
Oh, mate, good on you.
The Chanella's little store they've got there, it's not so little, it's fantastic.
It's great. Great shop.
We managed to get some fruit and vegetables and a few items from the deli as well while there. So
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you.
No, mate, not at all.
Also, just while I got you, so with everything else that's, flying out of the hip pocket in regards to bills, I work probably 70 hours a week and, on a Friday night and a Saturday night. One thing that I will really, really struggle to give up, is the old bottle of French liqueur, Cointreau.
Cointreau.
But basically, nearly that's forcing that out of my hands as well. That's gone up in the last 2 years, probably $15 a bottle, I reckon, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How do you have it? How do you have it? Are you just a straight on ice sort of guy with your Cointreau?
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. So what I do is I'll keep it in the fridge. I'll put it on ice. Like when I pour it into my glass, have it on some ice and just sip it as it goes like that. I mean, I jump off my subject a little bit, but I was in Paris probably 2 years ago, Dave and Will, and this is how ridiculous the government is here in regards to taxing. It's cheaper to get a bottle of Cointreau in Paris by about $30 than it is here in Australia.
Totally. Yeah, that's tax.
Well, this is it. And I've only been to France once, and it was a couple of years ago, the only time I've been to Europe. But you go to their local version of Foodland, and they've got the local white wine. We're in the south of France. There's a really good wine that's like Riesling there called Picpoul, Picpoul, and it was €4 a bottle.
It's for well, you know what? I think it's the community's philosophical difference with what it considers the role of wine and alcohol to be. It's part of
some
life.
Narky health lobby over
but this is what I'm saying.
Run out of town.
Wine there is part of the culture. It's part of living. It's part of life. Here, it's the devil's work.
Yeah, I know.
It's killing people.
Yeah.
Except no one's drinking anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from that little thing. 19 minutes after 6, 8223 0000. What will never be removed or the last thing to be removed from your home budget?
What's yours?
I can tell you what mine is. This won't surprise you.
Sport TV subscriptions?
Yep, 100%. My NBA TV subscription. It's really expensive. Really expensive. And I've had it since I was working as a casual employee at Footy Park, and it was a huge percentage of my wage. And I am embarrassed to talk about how much of my year was. I reckon it was worth $300. And my goodness, that bill used to come out every October, and that would be my social life would end for 2 months on account of that. I've had it since internet has been capable of broadcasting. And there have been various times it has been the subject of conversations about what's sustainable and what's not.
Yeah.
Everything else has gone first.
I'll happily buy clothes for myself at Big W. I'm wearing a flanny from Big W now. I've got a crappy car, the Al-Qaeda version of a Toyota Hilux, entry level, room in the back for one machine gun and 20 jihadists. But when it comes to buying meat, I don't care what it costs. I'm not buying some mangy, cryovac sort of trapped piece of fillet from a supermarket.
Yeah,
I want to see Dave or Luke
go to a quality butcher, get a quality cut of meat.
How does this look? And I don't care what it costs. And it's not like I eat meat every day. But the other thing too, if any of my children come to me and say, "Dad, I want to buy a book," I've never told them this. I hope they're not listening now because it might do me out of a lot of money. But if ever the kids say, "Dad, I want to buy a book," I just say, "Okay, you can buy it."
Yeah.
Never say no to a kid wanting a book to read.
That's a good philosophy. I like that.
Yep. Dangerous we go to Dimmicks.
Daniel has sent through a picture of his last night's dinner, which looks delicious, but right next to it is a bottle of the Picpoul and in the background is the footy last night. So Daniel had a wonderful evening. Let's go to Nick in Edwardstown. Nick, excellent. Nick, what's never getting removed from your home budget?
What we're going through 2026, anything that's wet and alcohol.
Fair enough.
Good on you, Nick.
Broad family of things that won't be leaving the Nick in Edwardstown family budget. Nick is in the running to win the Olga's Fine Foods meat tray. Keep them coming through. Some good ones on the text line we'll get to as well, 0480 8 1395. Call through on 8223 0000.
At Coles, 3-day deals are on now. This Friday to Sunday, save $4 a kilo on Coles RSPCA-approved chicken breast fillets skin off. Now just $8 a kilo. Shop in-store or online at Coles. Available at deli counter stores only and 7 June.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions and nothing is left unsaid. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
Outdoor living is part of the Australian way of life. A quiet coffee in the morning or a backyard barbecue with friends on the weekend. Alpha Industries helps create those spaces to relax and entertain with fully welded verandas, carports, sheds and studios designed to suit your home. From modern curved styles to classic heritage gables, everything is custom built using genuine Australian blue scope steel for strength and durability. Explore the range and ask for a quote today at alphaindustries.com.au.
Finding your next Volkswagen? That part's easy. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, the end of financial year Unlocked event has drive-away deals racing out the door. There's a huge range of new and demo Volkswagens ready for delivery right now. Plenty of colours, plenty of options. On-site finance, next-day servicing. But it won't last. So if you've been waiting, this is your moment. Get an end of financial year drive-away deal before it's gone. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Phantom Outdoor Blinds. What are you doing? Oh, just writing a jingle for Phantom Screens.
Okay, well, tell them they're up to 12 metres wide, yeah?
Really big?
Tell them they block the wind and the rain.
Blocks the wind.
And blocks sun and insects.
Really shady and gross things can't get in.
Tell them there's no posts.
Uninterrupted views.
Phantom Outdoor Blinds. Blocks out most things, just not your annoying mates. phantomscreens.com.au.
CMAX Clinical Research is investigating a potential treatment for people who experience psychosis associated with dementia and Parkinson's disease. If you're aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy, you could be eligible to participate in this study. Spend 4 nights at CMAX in Adelaide CBD, attend 1 follow-up visit, complete 1 phone call and get paid for your time. Your participation could help advance brain health research. Ready to make an impact? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. All the latest tech on sale. HP laptop with AMD Athlon processor now $698. TVs, fridges, vacuums on sale. Save $300 on LG 506-litre French door fridge now $1,988. Indoor and outdoor furniture on sale. Kyoto 5-piece round extension dining set, amazing deal, only $1,488. And Australian-made Sealy Posturepedic Acclaim Ashbury foam queen mattress now $1,399. Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best clearance prices in-store and online now. Conditions apply.
Winter on Kangaroo Island. It's not a season to stay in. It's not your average winter. It's the season that takes you by surprise. It's the escape that's right on your doorstep. Book a vehicle on the SeaLink ferry and up to 2 passengers travel free. But hurry, this offer is limited to the first 300 vehicle bookings. Discover Kangaroo Island today. Visit sealink.com.au or call 13 1301. Terms and conditions apply.
Port Adelaide is changing. Vibrant, evolving, alive with energy. And right at the heart of it, Colac Port Adelaide. From the relaxed bars of Bootleg Social, with exciting share plates, wood-fired pizzas and bold flavours, to premium dining, cocktails, live music and unforgettable waterfront experiences. As the port continues its revival, Colac stands proudly. A shining beacon of hospitality, flavour and atmosphere. Colac Port Adelaide, #1 Santo Parade. The experience on offer. Book now. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell 1 and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Some good texts. Lots of texts on the footy in addition to the meat tray this morning. I like this one, though, on the meat tray. Tangentially, Matthew says, "Hey, Dad, it's your long-lost son, Matty Penberthy. You couldn't get me that book, Not All Black and White, could you? Maddie wants to be part of the family with your never say no to buying a book philosophy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not sure. It's still in print. I reckon you can still get it online. You can get the online version, Matt. I haven't got any spares. I've got one that Scott wrote in that is really nice, and I've got that next to my desk.
We'll get Tom Rennan in a moment. We'll talk about more about the game. Buffalo Bill makes the point, and I think this is totally fair. Buffalo Bill says, Will, was part of your 3.5-point review of the Crows. I thought this win was one of Matthew Nick's best coaching performances. I've been a critic of his, so hats off to him. So have I, Buffalo Bill, but credit where credit's due. Archie on Tom Stewart was an inspired move. Picking the kid out of the VFL, who looked like he'd played 150 games, inspired move. Fair play.
Matty Nick had a big smile on his face at the start of that post-match press conference last night, and he's a very level-headed bloke, very even-tempered bloke, but the way he was smiling, it looked to me like he's clearly aware of the chatter out there, and he was like, it's funny, you know, it's total human nature. People in sport will say, the media, it's not something that I let get to me. He would have sat at that press conference for 3 hours last night if they kept asking questions.
Yeah.
He was loving being there.
Yeah. Can we talk more about the game?
Yeah.
8.1 degrees
good on him.
Outside at the
Good on
moment.
him.
Yep, top of 17 degrees. Tom Wren has just wandered in, and we can talk more about it. What a shame. Huge price drop on the new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostina Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lake. You called it last night, Rennie. I was driving home from work listening to you and Tuggers. And at that point, I don't think we had any idea what a classic was in store.
It was amazing. I don't think I'm overstating it, and you boys have spoken about it at length, but I think it's probably the most important win Matty Nix has had in his career. I think it was huge.
Yeah.
Hasn't won a final. To win a game like that, I just think if they lost...
the Collingwood game last year, at the end of the year, going into finals.
That was big, yep. But I just think for this season...
More pressure this year.
It was, a big back to square one if they lost it. They got through 4 players going down within 10 minutes in the last quarter. They were down to one rotation. They were out on their feet. You know, they had no Calamarchi, and look, that's an issue. We'll get to it. No Toby Murray. You know, the first game of Hugo Hall-Kahan, and we know about Jordan Butts, but some big ticks for Nix, it's got to be said, and he's had his critics, and fair enough, throughout the journey, but, you know, the move of Archie to Stewart was absolutely spot on. The move, to put Max Michelini on Jeremy Cameron, spot on. And Hugo Hall-Kahan had its knockers. I mean, that has the potential to upset the playing group and potentially still can. Because,
not if he plays like that.
But if he plays like that and comes out, with a busted nose and is a really important player, not just a contributor, but a genuinely important player, you've got to give him another massive tick. It was a huge performance by the Crows against a bogey team, a side they just cannot beat. They finally got it done.
And against the most highly rated coach in the competition.
Yep. Undoubtedly.
He's having a sook about something. Did somebody call him a wanker or something? He's got all upset about it. What was the drama there?
Yeah, I think there was some fan interaction. I'm not sure what the sledge was, but he's saying, there shouldn't be, as much. The coaches shouldn't have to walk through the fans, during a game. So, there's incidents that will be looked at. Tom Stewart will be looked at. Tex Walker, I think, will be looked at. The game had it all. Bailey Smith and James Peatling, a great little tape between those two players. It was a game that had everything. And look, Jordan Dawson, magnificent, 3 votes, but Taylor Walker's game was enormous. He was so good. I mean,
his draft year was nearly 20 years ago.
I know,
really.
And he's 36. And it's got to be said, a guy you guys know very, very well, Paddy Dangerfield was massive last night.
Oh, he turned back the clock, didn't he?
He had 1 touch when he played, I think, against Port Adelaide early this year at that ground. Last night he had 13 in the first quarter. He was just...
It was a spectacular game. It was a great Thursday night game of footy.
It was a final.
Yeah,
it was a virtual final.
I'm going to watch the whole thing tonight.
Yeah,
it's worth
it. Yeah, and look, just for the Crows, in terms of their season now...
You probably are too.
It just opens everything up.
Time.
I mean, Calamarchi, yes, he'll miss some time, which is really disappointing. Not sure about Jordan Butts. But they're going to start to get other players back. They'll get Thilthorpe back. They'll get Rankin back. Mark Keen's not far away. Isaac Cumming. So if they can get them back, Dogs away will be tough next week, but then Melbourne, then Port, then West Coast. If they can win 3 of those 4 and get to, 10 and 6, they've got to be going for top 4 now, I think. yes, they've got some injuries, and the Archie one's a real concern. Third hamstring this year, but there's some genuine hope there. I think this belief that they build out of that is just massive.
3 1-point wins at Adelaide Oval this year. The Crows about 6 to put Adelaide in, and then last night.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Good stuff, Rennie.
Good on you, boys.
Thanks, mate.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
17 with a shower or two today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
The state's budget has been praised by international ratings agency S&P Global. The agency ranks South Australia as having the second strongest credit rating in the country, behind Western Australia. Treasurer Tom Koutsantonis says the budget delivers on promises made ahead of the March state election.
Per family, this budget delivers about $2,300 in savings. In terms of public schools or stamp duty exemptions, there are tax cuts where we can afford them. So it really does target people who are trying to get into the housing market. We've got young children, helps people trying to start a family with IVF payments, which are very, very expensive.
The Fair Work Commission has closed a loophole which allowed NDIS providers to shortchange staff. The ASU estimates 30,000 workers were being paid up to $7 an hour less than their employers were being funded for. Union Secretary Angus McFarlane says it's a significant boost for the sector.
Our estimate is that 10% of the workforce have been experiencing these underpayments. Making sure these workers are now paid properly and fairly will help retain and attract people.
An open letter has been sent to the Prime Minister urging the government to consider stronger gambling reforms. Former Prime Minister John Howard is among the signatories, along with several coalition MPs. The group argues Labor's current proposed legislation doesn't go far enough. Former CFMEU boss John Setka allegedly sent a string of expletive-laden text messages and emails in which he criticised Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and branded the recipients dogs. The 2-month tirade of alleged abuse included a text telling one person to have a shit Christmas and repeatedly telling people to sleep with their mothers. Setka has appeared in court charged with multiple counts of using a communication device to menace, harass and offend, with the case adjourned to September. Australia's largest ever raid on illegal insects has biosecurity officials sounding the alarm for pet owners. Toby Goff explains.
More than 100,000 exotic cockroaches have been seized from a commercial breeder in central western New South Wales. The haul from Bathurst, including Madagascar and dubia roaches, pushing an estimated street value of $200,000. The Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water says the foreign species are completely illegal in Australia and are major biosecurity threats. Reptile keepers who use the foreign pests as lizard feed are being urged to switch to legal alternatives like crickets or wood roaches immediately or face severe penalties.
The US president insists progress is being made in efforts to stop fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. The militant group says it's firmly rejected the terms of an American brokered deal to extend the tentative ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, contingent on the end of Hezbollah attacks. But Donald Trump is adamant the group wants fighting to end.
And I think Hezbollah, I will tell you, they called us and they said, how about stopping? And I think you're going to see things happen over there. That's been like a little bit of a different world, but it's interconnected with Iran. And it would be really nice if Lebanon could have some peace.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Tom Ram, we're both a bit husky this morning after that huge night at the Oval.
It was amazing, wasn't it, Jess? Just an incredible performance, particularly from the skipper, Jordan Dawson. He helped steer Adelaide to a dramatic 1-point victory over Geelong and into the AFL's top 6. Last night's win, just their second victory over the Cats in their last 11 attempts. Crows coach Matty Nix proud of his boys and the fact they managed to outlast their opponents in a brutal contest.
I think we'll take a hell of a lot of belief from this because of the way we went about it. I thought it was a great contest. From where we sat, it was a ripping game. Thought they had our measure in early, and then we were able to bring that back. I think we got the contest back to about even by the end of the game. We knew against Geelong, if you're going to be any chance of winning, you've got to bring contests.
Meantime, Port has made 3 changes to its side to take on West Coast tomorrow night in Perth. The Power have brought in Lockie Jones, Jackson Mead and Tom Cochrane, while Kane Farrell is out injured, and Tom Anastasopoulos and Jack Watkins have been dropped. Maya Hulinski has become the first qualifier in history to reach the final of the French Open, defeating Diana Schneider 7-6, 6-4. She'll now face 8th seed Mira Andreeva after the 19-year-old beat Marta Kostyuk. Tonight we'll see the men's semi-finals played. And in some cricket to finish, Pakistan has won the one-day series against Australia, winning Game 3 by 4 wickets in Lahore. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tommy. Now the 5AA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, Westlakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy for Sunday, partly cloudy, and 19 for the holiday on Monday. Right now it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
At Specsavers Audiology, your ears won't get ripped off by our hearing aids. Whew. You'll find the tech and style that's right for you, with something for every price range and 12 months of aftercare with every purchase. Compare your pair at Specsavers Audiology. T's and C's apply.
Formula Honda's end of financial year event is on now, with great offers right across the Honda range. Receive price reductions of up to $2,000 on selected 25-built Honda CR-Vs. Premium engineering, exceptional value, a standard that's a cut above the rest. This is the end of financial year event, only from Formula Honda, and only while stocks last. Visit Formula Honda at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury, and book your test drive today. See honda.com.au for T's and C's.
1-800-Medicare, you're speaking with a registered nurse. How can I help?
Hi, my daughter's got a fever that's not going down. I'm not sure what to do.
My GP's not available on weekends, so I don't know who to call.
The internet says it could be a few different things.
Ask 1-800-Medicare for free, non-emergency health advice, 24/7 from registered nurses, connecting you to the right care for your health concern. Call 1-800-633-422, authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Kick and Sip is back for 2026, and it's all happening as part of the Sturt Football Club Food and Wine Festival. If you had to close your eyes and be asked which football club in South Australia would have a food and wine festival, it'd be Sturt or Nord, wouldn't it? That'd be you have it down to 2.
This is part of the great egalitarianism of the Sturt and Nord football club.
Happening over the King's birthday long weekend, because I think it's got the greatest penetration of monarchists as well, the Sturt Football Club.
The idea with the live reads is that we promote the brands.
I am promoting it. I'm saying all things Sturt people like.
Now, look, I know there's a lot of talk about the MND game on Monday, but I would say that the best thing to do is to make a cash donation to that and then get along to Unley Oval. Don't bother watching the game at the MCG. This is the big one. Monday at Unley Oval, the home of football. Sturt take on the Redlegs from 2:10 p.m. It is the Moleskin Derby, of course. RMs all round, and they're turning the whole day. This is so much fun. It's really good, and it's free for kids. Dirt cheap to get in as an adult. And then, of course, not just local grassroots football, but also wine matchings. There'll be heaters, marquees, wines, beers and gin, food trucks, live music and a DJ.
Of course, the Sturt fans would be transferring cash. They'd be probably transferring some equity shares or something or other. Whether you're there for the
unit trust.
That's right. Whether you're there for the footy, the food, or just a great afternoon with friends and family, Kick and Sip is one of the great ways to spend the long weekend, and the weather looks great. Don't miss the big clash at Stratorama Stadium 2, Glenelg, taking on Port Adelaide, Saturday from 2:10 p.m.
And tickets are available at the gate for both matches too, so if you're getting your driver to drop you off, just make sure you go down past the Cambridge Room. Family fun for less than $45. Kick and Sip and a super match headliner, bumper weekend of the excellent Host Plus SANFL League.
Hey, Carl Chalmers here, letting you know that when it comes to flooring for your home or investment property, Floorweld should be your go-to. With locations north, east and west, you'll save on a huge range of wool and synthetic carpets, engineered timber flooring, laminate, hybrid and vinyl flooring. If you own a rental property or you're a homeowner, speak with the experts at Floorweld. Visit floorweld.com.au for a free consult Plus, mention this ad for 15% off.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. Bob Jane T-Mart's end of financial year Price Buster sale is now on, and the savings are huge. Get up to 35% off a selected range of Yokohama tyres, plus 35% off selected Hankook tyres. Get a massive 35% off selected Kumho tyres. Buy 3 selected tyres and get the 4th tyre free. No one beats our best tyre price guarantee. At Bob Jane T-Mart's, we'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
19 minutes to 7. We're off to Canberra very shortly. Police and weather coming up. I just want to read out Matt's text. Matt, it's one of my favourite texts we've received in a while because I reckon this is everything that 5AA Breakfast is about. A whole bunch of Crows fans crowing about something. Matt goes for the other side. He's got a Meat Tray Friday entry and a reference to the state budget. Like, this man is the centre of the 5AA Breakfast Venn diagram. Matt says, as a Cats supporter at the game, the Crows look good. It was flipping cold, though. I need windscreen wipers on my glasses. Can we please talk about state debt now? He says, I'll never remove my budget line for Saturday morning breakfast with my dad. It's the best part of my week. Have a great day. That's a great text, Matt. That text is in the running to win the meat tray. There you go.
Yeah,
we used to give it a caller, but I love that text.
Absolutely. That's great. I had a really interesting experience last night. So one of my mates, also known Dave, I got so many mates called Dave. I think everyone was born in 1969 got called Dave.
Was there a famous Dave around in the 60s that you got named after? Davy Crockett?
Dave Clark? Dave Brubeck? Not sure. But anyway, he's got a Tesla and he offered to drop me home. And I said, hey, can you do hands-free in the car? He goes, yeah, I can. I said, can we do it all the way home? He goes, yeah, we can. It'll he said, piece of cake. Legally, he had to stay, with his hands hovering above the wheel, I think.
I think legally he has to have his hands on the wheel.
Well, he didn't. Anyway.
But for the purpose, you haven't identified. Anyway, move on.
I'm not saying his last name. Okay, Mrs. Nussbaum. We made it through town. We were going through Whitmore Square. There's this giant screen in the Teslas that is like a laptop screen. It's huge. And it must have so many cameras. So it modulates in real time. There was a car behind us at one point, and that car appeared on the screen. All of the lights were, the lanes, the whole thing was lit up like a Christmas tree. The car did everything, indicating, slowing down, reading the lights. We had to wait at a red light on Green Hill Road. Then the green arrow came. The car just took off. I said, mate, this car is doing a better job than I would driving. Well, particularly given I had 5 Qingtaos. But it was just unbelievable.
So, could I ask you then, because I know we've spoken about this self-driving cars has been a topic since we've been on the air, and you've always been a bit sceptical that it's something that's going to happen. Has that changed?
Yeah, totally. Completely.
It is mind-blowing, isn't it? The technology
it felt really safe. Like, you'd want to keep your wits about you, but the thing is, I reckon you keeping your wits about you would still not be as effective as the car keeping its wits about itself.
The Waymo data says that's right.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing.
Have any of you guys done it? If you have, give us a call, 8223 0000.
I wonder how many people's Tesla... I know there's a few Teslas are out there. I think you have to pay a $13,000 software fee or something or other for the full self-driving mode. I think it's like a software upgrade you pay for on top of your... I'm not an expert in this area.
Well, he hasn't got that.
So that's just the base level?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's head to Canberra. It's been a big week for AUKUS. Not necessarily a great week for AUKUS because there is a fracturing in the Federal Labor Party now. Ed Husick wants it to be put to a vote. There's been conjecture around, well, not conjecture, there's been confirmation that we won't be getting a new Virginia-class submarine. It will be another, all 3 now that we transferred from the US will be second-hand. Nelson Scott has been covering this in Canberra for us here at 5AA. Nelson, good morning to you. It doesn't feel like a great week for AUKUS from the Australian perspective.
No, I mean, the government, morning, gents, the government would certainly tell you it's been a great week, but there's certainly a lot of people that agree with them. So on Sunday, we've got Defence Minister Richard Marles, we've got Defence Secretary in the US, Pete Hegseth, and their UK counterpart all over in Singapore for a defence contract. It's a conference rather. Then we get the news that rather than purchasing a fleet of new and second-hand Virginia-class submarines from the United States, we're only going to get 3 used vessels that have been in service, most of them for around 10 years. As a result, they have a smaller radiator life and won't last as long as the second-hand subs. Government says, though, this is Defence Minister Richard Marles, this is what we've always wanted. They've previously described, and that's despite, previously describing the original deal as the ultimate pathway, but they say now having 3 used subs means that they're all the same type and subsequently easier to run. They've been coy on the cost, though, of this, I must say. Then we have later in the week, prominent backbencher, as you say, Ed Husick, coming out and say this needs to be reevaluated. We need to go to another vote. This isn't a vote, rather. This isn't what we agreed on. Some unions have followed suit, other government MPs as well. The opposition, they've sought to capitalise on this. They say, they need to speak with one voice on AUKUS. It's our most important defence pact, and they need to show unity. Richard Marles, Penny Wong, and others say we're fully committed to the pact. And honestly, I mean, I will say this: the rank and file in Labor are probably going to vote on this in Adelaide when they have their conference in July. And in the rank and file of Labor, there's a lot of AUKUS opposition. However, I mean, we're so far down the track on this. Our own Collins-class submarines that we've currently got are raging. I can't see them really changing too much as well, because particularly at the moment with an unpredictable president like Donald Trump, I think they'd be very wary of pushing the alliance. But certainly, gents, some opposition in Labor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big issue heading into the Labor conference, which is going to be held right here in Adelaide. I'm sure the Police Commissioner, Grant Stevens, is thrilled about its location, because that convention centre, the usual Toulemond of Australia's rabble-rousing political class, will be down there en masse protesting about everything. Great package, Nelson. Thank you, Nelson Scott, 5AA's camera correspondent there in Canberra.
Speaking of the US president, it's been confirmed in the last 15 minutes he'll be attending Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So is he America's most famous New Yorker now? He has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
There's no one competing with Donald Trump.
No.
As the side tries to break what is a...
It's him and that guy from The Strokes, definitely. Julian
Casablancas. 53-year championship drought. He's going to be there on what will be a raucous night in New York.
What about his confirmed details of his conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu, where he called him an effing lunatic?
He
quote effing. That was the quote, wasn't it?
And he effectively did. He was asked about by Miranda Devine, wasn't he?
Miranda Devine.
He said, well, yeah. The other thing he said, and I think he's diminishing faculties at the moment based on a lot of his public things. He had one very funny comment yesterday when he was asked about this nature of the ceasefire by a journalist, who I think quite rightly said, well, how do you define ceasefire given what's going on in Iran at the moment? He said, well, in this part of the world, ceasefire means shoot at each other more moderately, which I think is how kind of everyone feels about it.
Yeah.
Matt's called in on driverless cars. Morning, Matt.
Hey, g'day, fellas. Hope you're well. Just a different perspective on driverless cars. My parents are in their 80s, and I just thought it'd be great if there were some laws that would allow them to have driverless cars rather than have, sooner or later, their licenses are going to be taken off them. And then the second perspective is, any of these guys that are convicted of high-range drink driving or, these horrendous speeds that you see guys getting picked up on, I think the only way they should be allowed on the roads is in a driverless car.
Yeah.
That's an interesting...
They're both excellent points, Matt. Particularly the one about the elderly. Because, when you're old, losing your licence it often hastens people's demise.
Well, and look, we've got an aged care problem in Australia at the moment. And one of the reasons you go into care, because you can't get to the shops, you can't do things for yourself anymore. What happens if that wasn't an issue anymore?
Yeah.
What happens if you were still as mobile as ever in terms of getting to places, going to doctor's appointments, going to the shops? That's the promise of this technology. I've not heard anyone say...
The only thing is you'll get to the shops and you won't be able to get out of the car.
Yeah, you need a driverless...
Well, you need a drive-through. You need drive-through everything.
Drive-through everything. We're getting close to that.
Yeah, it's like, I'd like a McMuffin meal, and I'd like a box of detergent and some fabric softener and a carton of milk.
Yeah, you can just do that on Uber, I guess, these days.
Well,
can't
that's
you?
true.
I do like his idea, though. Drink driving offences. People with disqualified licences. Guess what? You won't operate. You can get in a car. Your car can drive you places. You will not be operating a car anymore. I don't mind that idea at all.
I think some of the people are getting around driving disqualified, driving unregistered. They're probably not flush with cash enough to get a Tesla, though.
No. I think when it's a bit more accessible.
Yeah. Well, everything comes down.
Right.
Look at the cost of a plasma television now compared to what it was.
All right, let's head to the Weather Bureau. Simon Timke joins us. Simon, what kind of weekend do we have ahead?
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Well, look, starting with today, might see one or two showers around during the afternoon and evening. Clear around the Adelaide area at the moment, but looking on the satellite pictures, a line of cloud just pushing across the western end of Kangaroo Island that is likely to bring that shower or two to the Adelaide area. The winds south to southwesterly, tending around a bit more west to northwesterly during the day, and that's keeping temperatures on the cooler side. So 17 degrees the maximum for the city today, around the suburbs 17 as well for Elizabeth, Glenelg, Noarlunga, 15 for Mount Barker. Currently in the city, sitting on about 8.3 degrees, just a little bit above our overnight minimum, which was 7.3 at 8 minutes past 6. Over the weekend, though, conditions will continue to stabilise. We fall under the influence of a high-pressure system currently centred over the Nullarbor Plain that's going to move slowly eastwards. So less likelihood of showers for Saturday. Still a chance of the odd light one or two around, but less than today, I think. The wind's pretty light under the influence of that ridge, and our temperatures for Saturday, a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 17. Sunday morning, maybe a bit of morning fog around to start off with, but the day should be dry, still a bit of cloud around with generally light winds, down to 10 for the minimum temperature and 18 degrees the maximum for Sunday. For the public holiday on Monday, mostly sunny day with north to northeasterly winds, 11 for the minimum, 19 degrees the maximum, even a little bit warmer for Tuesday, a sunny day on the way again, and 20 degrees for Tuesday. So if you're after some sunshine, Monday and Tuesday looking good, guys.
That's good. Good for the long weekend. Good for the SANFL on Monday as well for the wine tasting. Thank you for that, Simon. Simon Timke from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to Sapole. Matt Hale joins us. Matt's been a suspicious house fire.
Yes, good morning. Just after 3 a.m. this morning, emergency services responded to reports of a house fire on Wammer Road in Elizabeth North. The home was fully engulfed when the police got there, but brought quickly under control by the fire crews. Now, thankfully, there were no reports of any injuries, but there was significant damage caused to that property. Police fire investigators attended the scene, and the fire is being treated as suspicious. The MFS located a dog which had possible smoke inhalation as well, and it was taken to a vet for a checkup. We're calling out for witnesses. If you saw any suspicious activity in the street overnight, or a dash cam or CCTV footage that can help our investigation, get in touch now through Crime Stoppers, 1-800-333-000.
Matt, also a drink drive has been done at Seaford Rise.
Yes, just before 6:30 yesterday, police were called to Commercial Road in Seaford Rise. Members of the public had called in about a car that was driving erratically, had actually hit a pedestrian crossing sign, but then kept on driving. Police tracked that car, two at a station wagon, to a house and located the alleged driver. The 27-year-old Port Noarlunga South man was recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.192. Now, that's nearly 4 times the legal limit. He was reported for drink driving, issued a 12-month loss of licence, and will have to front court to answer to those charges at a later date.
Good stuff, Matt. Thanks for that. Have a good weekend too. Senior Constable Matt Hale from Sapole.
All right, let's check traffic. We'll come back with more in just a moment.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Got the odd shower rolling through this morning. Bit of still water over the road at Crayford this morning. Look out for that. Waverley Reach Road near the roundabout. Getting busy South Road through Edwardstown, Newcastle Plaza, and slowing up a little Porter Expressway heading into Port Adelaide this morning. Camera's got a couple around already. Hart Street, Semaphore, and North Street, Henley Beach. Smash the tax time at JB Hi-Fi with ridiculous deals like $400 off the latest Samsung Galaxy S26 phones while stocks last at JB Hi-Fi. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
The Government of South Australia.
Building or renovating? Fridge or washer? Given up? Check out the Harvey Norman Clearance Centre today. 919 Marion Road, Marion. Big brand cooking and laundry appliances, TVs, fridges, washers, dryers, ovens, cooktops, and even the kitchen sink. factory seconds, ex-display, overstocks, refurbished, carton damage and new lines. Stock arriving weekly. All stock comes with a manufacturer's warranty. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, 919 Marion Road, Marion.
Now, how's this Toop and Toop? They've nailed it again. They've just been named Australia's #1 large residential agency of the year at the Real Estate Institute of Australia National Awards.
But it's also a great win for their entire team and a reflection of more than 40 years spent helping their clients navigate some of life's biggest property decisions. And they do it with trusted advice, strategic expertise and exceptional results.
So Bronte wanted us to say that as a family-owned independent agency, he's incredibly grateful to their clients and the community for placing their trust in Toop and Toop since 1985.
Head to toop.com.au to see how they can help you get the best result.
We love to see you, CMI.
It's end of financial year at CMI Toyota, SA's #1 selling Toyota dealer. Hurry in for deals across our range of new and demo vehicles in stock, like the Toyota Camry, Hiace and Hilux. View the range at cmitoyota.com.au or visit CMI Toyota West Terrace City, Cheltenham or Christie's Beach today.
We love to see you, CMI.
Toyota, LVD 2009.
If you're over 60, you already know this. Staying strong and fit isn't about vanity. It's about feeling safe and steady, keeping your independence, staying out of hospital and living in your own home. That's why we built Enable Fitness, a welcoming space with specialised allied health support and tailored exercise programs. Enable's clinical experts can support you to build strength and balance, reduce falls risk and grow in confidence. Move safely, stay independent. Visit enablefitnesscentre.com.au.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
3 to 7, we're asking you for the meat tray this morning, Olga's Fine Foods, to nominate something you will never cut from your own home budget. What will never be sacrificed, or what would be the last thing you'd ever want to get rid of? Lots of great nominations. Keep them coming in. It might win you a terrific meat tray. 8223 0000 the number.
It's time to flashback
with Michael Smith.
Time machine time. Michael Smith from 7 News Flashback segment joins us. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Will and David. As Tony Barber used to say on Sale of the Century, let's go shopping. We've got a retail edition of Flashback for you this week. You guys will be aware that Rundle Mall is turning 50 this year. And back in 1976, not only was it the first of its kind in Australia, but it really sort of started a whole retail renaissance in the city and encouraged a lot of development. In 1977, John Martins teamed up with National Mutual to develop a shopping centre the likes of which we'd never seen before. It ran from Johnny's main store through to Gawler Place and repurposed the old G&R Wills building and had an entrance on North Terrace. I'm talking about the Gallery. It's been boarded up for decades now, but David, you'd remember it was the place to shop in Adelaide when it opened because it brought all sorts of brands we'd never seen here before, the likes of Laura Ashley, Oroton. It was the home of the first upmarket R.M. Williams store as well. But people would also remember it for the Gallery Food Affair.
Oh, yeah. Back
in 1979, food courts really weren't a thing. And the developers argue that this was not the first food court in Adelaide, but actually the first in Australia. And people would probably have particularly fond memories of a couple of stores there, not only the international foods, but Oscar's Coffee Shop and Max's Chips. It's amazing decades later how people still talk about the chips from Max's in the Gallery Food Affair. I've caught up with a guy called Paul Flavel, who's a John Martins historian, and he said the Gallery really was revolutionary for Adelaide retail.
The Gallery Shopping Centre focuses on fashion. Fashion that is elegant, sophisticated, casual.
It had palms, it had plants, it had this sort of wooden feel, terrazzo floors. It was a very different look and feel for Adelaide shoppers. So this is why many people now, almost 50 years later, have such strong memories of the Gallery because it was so unique and its look and feel was different to any other shopping centre, perhaps even today.
The Gallery, the fashion centre of Adelaide.
And fun fact, Peter Weir, the acclaimed Australian film director, directed the first commercial for the Gallery. It was so successful that on opening day they got such a large crowd the electricity system failed. There for about 20 years. It closed soon after Johnny's did and has been boarded up, as I mentioned, for decades. There are plans to finally redevelop that site. We'll see if it happens.
Wow. I remember it fondly and remember the food area very well there, Michael. It was a wonderful spot. Wonderful flashback, mate. Thank you. Michael Smith for 7 News.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
17 with a shower or two today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson. Police are investigating a suspicious fire in the northern suburbs. Emergency crews were called to Wamma Road just after 3 this morning to find a home fully engulfed in flames. They managed to bring it under control within 10 minutes, rescuing and treating a dog at the property for smoke inhalation. The blaze is being treated as deliberate. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. There's been mixed reaction to the state budget. The Property Council has welcomed many of the initiatives, including stamp duty relief for downsizers, while warning fiscal discipline will be critical in coming years. State debt is predicted to blow out to $53.65 billion for the first time. But Treasurer Tom Koutsantonis says it's a budget that lives within its means.
The budget reflects the mandate received at the March 2026 election, with major investments in education, health and infrastructure alongside a substantial focus on increasing housing supply to help more South Australians own a home.
Bondi Beach terrorist attack hero Ahmed Al-Ahmed has been charged with assault. The 44-year-old is also accused of stalking and intimidation after an incident involving his father in March. He's due in court next month. The Prime Minister maintains Labor's tax changes are fair, claiming they'll lift housing supply and give workers extra money in their pocket. The government's legislation to rein in the capital gains tax discount and negative gearing concessions has passed the lower house. The bill includes a $250 tax offset and workers can claim an instant $1,000 on their expenses. Anthony Albanese has told Parliament it's important reform.
Every Labor member voted for aspiration for all, not just for some. And we did that by making sure that Australians can have a crack at owning their first home. Every Labor member voted for Australians to earn more and to keep more of what they earn.
Personal items from the estate of legendary radio broadcaster John Laws have sold at auction for more than $4.6 million. Another 4 online auctions are still scheduled to take place. Well, it's been less than a day since a ceasefire was declared between Israel and Lebanon, and already the deal is falling apart. As Lauren Tomasi reports, Hezbollah has rejected the agreement.
There's really little sign that there has been any ceasefire happening at all on the ground in the Middle East. There have been Israeli airstrikes along with Hezbollah firing rockets. It was only a matter of hours ago that this all unfolded here in Washington. This is where the diplomacy was unfolding between Lebanon and Israel. It was a US-backed deal here that both sides agreed upon, but the whole thing was contingent upon Hezbollah first pulling back. We know that's not going to happen because the leader of the Iran-backed group has outright denied that they will be involved in any sort of part of this agreement. So once again, you've got the two sides here who have a ceasefire on paper, but on the ground, it's just not something that we're seeing. Then you take a look at the broader war at large between the United States and Iran. The ceasefire between those two countries still looking very fragile.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jess. A huge win for Adelaide overnight, beating Geelong by a point in a thriller in front of more than 42,000 fans. The Crows were down to one rotation for much of the final quarter when Callum Archie and Jordan Butts were forced off with soft tissue injuries. And they were joined on the bench by first gamer Hugo Hall-Kahan and Toby Murray, who had a nasty collision. Hall-Kahan returned and Murray looked to be okay. Nix, though, not sure how serious the injuries are for Archie and Butts.
So Archie's hamstring, Jordan Butts is a calf. Again, we don't know to what extent. We hope they're minor.
And a couple of incidents are also set to be reviewed by the MRO. One involved Taylor Walker and another Tom Stewart from the Cats. Well, Maya Holinski is ranked 115th in the world and has now made it all the way to the French Open final. She's beaten Diana Schneider 7-6, 6-4, pitting her in the final against the 6th seed Mira Andreeva. Andreeva says it will be a new experience for the both of them.
Never played against her. It's going to be a new match for both of us. And I don't really know how she plays. I don't really know her game style.
Yeah, Holinski is the first qualifier to ever make it to the French Open final. It's a feat achieved only once before at a major. Well, Australia has lost the third ODI against Pakistan, going down overnight by 4 wickets in Lahore. There's a 4-way tie for the lead late in the opening round of the Memorial Tournament in Ohio. Tommy Fleetwood, Wyndham Clark, JJ Spawn and Ryan Gerard are all at 5 under, while Adam Scott is the best of the Aussies. He's 5 shots back. And the New York Knicks have taken a 1-0 lead in their best-of-7 series against the San Antonio Spurs. That's after a 105-95-point win in Game 1. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. The odd passing shower, nothing too bad this morning, but do have some still water over the road at Crayford to look out for. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Waterloo Corner, crash there. North-south motorway near the interchange. Busy South Road, Edwardstown in front of Castle Plaza, where that bitumen ripped up and starting to build the Porter Expressway, Port Adelaide. Curragh North Street, Henley Beach. This end of financial year, make it a Mercedes-Benz. Enjoy GST savings across select new models. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, Westlakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy on Sunday, partly cloudy and 19 for the holiday Monday. Right now it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 7, good morning to you. Welcome to Friday on 5AA Breakfast, the 5th of June. I think we did a pretty comprehensive wrap of the footy in the first hour.
Very thorough.
Which I think, is our want and frankly is our charge, given we talk about the biggest news stories in town, and last night was a pretty big one. There was one after the game that came up as well, where there was an incident that Chris Scott wasn't happy with.
They had words to you.
The fans?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Did you feel
they're nuffies. But that's okay.
Did you feel the need to alert security up?
I talk to security regularly. Yeah.
Do you think it's the right thing for coaches to walk through the crowd?
That's a good question. This is one of the best stadiums in the world. I love it. No, it's an oversight that the coaches should have to walk through the crowd. I don't want to do it at any ground.
In the hundreds of games that have been played here, I'm trying to remember the genuinely sickening incident involving a coach. Like, seriously, one of these guys think they're infallible, like they're here on a papal tour or here for Chogham. A little bit of banter. I mean, the state of Victoria that fancies itself as the home of Australian rules, wrongly, it's given us Victoria Park, where, you used to get urinated on, and that was just by the female Collingwood supporters. Cardinia Park's a fortress for Geelong, 11 guaranteed wins a year, pretty much. He's just having a sook, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to build a special...
I don't think there's much in that, to be honest.
Purpose-built Chris Scott tunnel, are we? Maybe we'll ask the Treasurer when he's in at 7:35. We'll just add that to the debt bill.
Well, that's right. The Treasurer is coming up.
The very fast Chris Scott tunnel, the VFCST.
We'll be talking about that, and we'll be wrapping the state budget very, very short. We're going to meat tray to give away thanks to the great people at Olga's Fine Foods, as we're asking you this morning about your own home state budget. What is something that you will never cut from your own home budget? Your home budget, something you will never sacrifice, or the very last thing you'll ever remove. We've had people talk about their sporting memberships. We've had people talk about food items. A few alcohol nominations, very specific alcohol nominations on the program as well. 8223 you can text us on 044808 1395. We will talk with the Treasurer very, very shortly, but then later in the morning, World Cup of South Australia. We've got Best of SA tickets to give away and Feedback Friday, so there's plenty of winning to be done on this Friday morning.
BOG at the budget lockup yesterday, our very own Matthew Abraham. The great thing about Matt, so Matt is, for all intents and purposes, retired.
Yeah, he's a budget lockup emeritus journalist.
He just keeps going. He's not one of those retrenched Japanese guys who just keeps turning up. But not that he was retrenched. He retired as people do of their own free will. But yesterday at the start of the budget, Peter Malinowskis was saying some introductory words before Coots got up and, typically sort of lauding him with praise for the budget and what have you. The Premier made some what sounded like pretty pointed comments about the importance of keeping your promises. He said it's not just politically important, but it's important in a policy sense because you want to create a stable environment for business and not give business any surprises. Now, I know that he says that a lot, but it sounded particularly pertinent and indeed almost pointed that just weeks after Jim Chalmers set a world record for breaking promises, that the Premier would knowingly make comments like that. So after he said them in front of this whole room of advisors and all the head honchos from government, it wasn't a press conference, it was the Premier just speaking on stage. So Matt shouts out, "Sounds like you're running for Canberra." To which the Treasurer said they can't have him. And then normal service was resumed.
So Matt's heckling during
it was kind
the
of
budget
heckling.
lockup.
I don't know if the Premier was overly thrilled.
That's superb.
But no.
I know Matt was big on, no broken promises, and this is obviously post-federal budget state Labor playbook. Was ramping not a promise? Have I missed something? Was that just...
Well, ramping was a promise.
Right.
It was a promise.
So from here on out, it's really important never to break a promise. Is that... the new standard is we don't break promises.
That is a very large broken promise.
Yeah.
Correct.
We've all forgotten that one, have we?
Well, the ambulance union clearly has after that interview we had with them the other day.
Let's chat with some interested groups here in South Australia about the state budget, as we always like to do post-budgets, federal and state. Speak to some of the groups that are specifically covered by it, either by absence or indeed by deliberate policy choice. Dr. Catherine Earle from SACOS joins us. Dr. Earle, good morning to you. How did you score the budget?
Good morning. Well, I think you have to give them credit because they have delivered on many of their election commitments here. But as the NGO social services sector, which is the sector that I represent, we know that there are many people in our community who are struggling to make ends meet at the moment. And we know this because the demand for our services and supports is going up. And this is at a time when we know that just costs of delivering services are also rising. So we were looking pretty closely in the budget for the funding outcomes for our sector, and we saw that there is an increase of 3.3% through indexation coming towards our sector. But we're concerned that, organisations are still going to be really squeezed because earlier in the week we heard that, wages will be going up by 4.75%. So there's a gap there, and we'll be keeping on working with the government on that one as well, because we want to make sure that really vital services are sustained.
And what would you give it out of 10?
Oh, look, I think 3.5 or 4 out of 10. We're going probably 7 or 8 out of 10.
All right, Good stuff. Dr. Earle, thank you. Let's go to Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Bronte, of course, famously gave Jim Chalmers both barrels post-budget.
That was superb.
Bronte, how'd you see the state budget for housing?
The state budget? No. So, look, I think overall, guys, on the ground at the moment and where we were actually seeing things is that basically since the federal budget came out, buyer numbers per property hasn't changed. SA homes have not declined in price. Any headlines which suggest that Melbourne, Sydney, anything that suggests that Melbourne and Sydney, anything that suggests, that properties have gone down is a Melbourne and Sydney headline. It's not a South Australian one. We've had landlords that have been, the only change we've seen is that landlords that were going to sell are no longer going to sell. So, guys, I might have missed the memo. I'm still stuck on the federal budget here, and I thought it was a wash-up today of basically what's happened on the ground since that's been released. So,
no, that's all right. That's all right, Bronte.
Yeah.
No, you maintain the rage, my good man. we'll chat with you again next week. Andrew Kay is the CEO of the SA Business Chamber. Andrew, how did you see it for business here in South Australia, the state budget?
Yeah, morning, guys. I'm a bit like Bronte too. I haven't moved on, but I will talk about the state budget. Obviously, this one has been framed against this backdrop of debt and a desire, as you said, to meet election commitments, which, given what we saw in Canberra a couple of weeks ago, might be seen as a bit of a novel concept these days. There's nothing in here that's going to alarm business. There's no new charges, there's no new taxes, but there's nothing in there that's going to make their stocks roll up and down either, I'm afraid. If businesses were looking for a short-term fix to address the conditions and that profitability squeeze that we talked about on your show on Breaking at 8 on Tuesday, it's simply not there. The business themes to drive economic growth are around productivity and reducing red tape. There's a new $50 million R&D productivity fund over the next 4 years. There's a red tape reduction review, which is something that the Chamber asked for in our pre-election charter, so it's nice to see that's been given a run. But both these things are medium to long-term impact. I really doubt it's going to be a budget, unlike the federal budget that we'll be talking about this time next week. But the Crows' magnificent win last night against the Cats, fellow, we will be talking about. I'll be dining out on that one until we take the field against the Western Bulldogs next Thursday night.
All right, so 10 out of 10 for the Crows. What about Tom Cootes and Donuts?
No surprises. It's safe. A little optimistic, perhaps, given the unknowns about the war in the Middle East, but it's safe. It's a 7.
Andrew Kay, the CEO of the SA Business Chamber, and Crows Die Hard.
Remember a few years ago when Steve Mulligan was Treasurer, the budget came out on the day that the Crows got beaten here at home by Richmond, and we actually almost completely dropped the budget.
I don't think the budget got mentioned that day.
No.
Because people were raging about the footy.
We've done more on the Crows game than the budget today. Now, not out of our own, like the guests are doing. Even the head of the SA Business Chamber wants to actually come and talk about the game and the budget.
Well, you've talked about it before. You get this. This is a very privileged position when you're in the studio. You get a very acute sense of what people actually care about at any given moment.
Completely.
Today it's footy. Just is. Just is. Our Alberton correspondent Dave Lloyd's called in. Morning, Dave.
Budget, more budget. Let's talk about the budget. Spending. Probably like most households where there's two people involved, one is very good at spending and one is not quite so keen on that person's activity. What I'll never give up on is frivolous, pointless stuff. And I don't even know what it is because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure when I do, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, that's good. The frivolous, pointless budget.
Yeah, just silly things.
That's good for your mental well-being.
Yeah.
Just silly stuff.
Yeah,
Dave, thank you. That's a Meat Tray Friday entry. You're in the running to win the Meat Tray thanks to Olga's Fine Foods, asking you about the last thing or the thing you'll never cut from your own home budget. Dave in South Brighton, what is it for you?
Well, mate, I'm the biggest tight ass around, and I can make a chicken stretch 4 meals if I have to. But my wife will never, ever be a tight ass on good quality toilet paper. If it ain't soft, it's not coming in our house.
Well, like 3-ply, 4-ply?
3-ply.
Oh, mate, it could be cotton wool for all I know. It's super fluffy stuff, but that's what she has. And if I was to buy something on special that was not quite to her standard, oh, my God.
Dave, that is a great nomination for the Meat Tray. That's the kind of niche expenditure that we want to that we'd like to hear about for things you'll never cut from the budget. The expensive toilet paper. Yeah, eh? Living large. Tyson in Clarence Gardens, good morning.
Good morning. Did someone mention silly stuff?
Yes.
I can't leave the supermarket without buying a couple of Hot Wheels.
Oh, really?
I collect them.
You collect them, yeah.
Yeah, I've got over 1,000 now, but it's just one thing I will never, ever, ever stop buying them. It's just that little tiny thing for a couple of bucks that makes me feel really good.
What's the pride of the cars collection, Tyson?
Oh, I've got a Super Treasure Hunt Mazda RX-3 worth about $500.
Really? So are they a bit like trading cards and things where there's rare ones and there's some that they appreciate value?
Yeah, there's two kinds. There's a rare and then there's a super rare. It's got a gold stamp underneath the car if you look underneath in between the box and the car.
Are you like do you have to keep them in the containers, Tyson, or do you get them out?
Yeah, I don't open them.
And have you got them on display at home?
Sure do.
Send us a picture, Tyson. Cool. We want to see it.
All right.
Flick it through the text line 0480081395. You're in the running to win the Meat Tray. That is brilliant.
Have you got anything you display at home, Will, or anything you're a bit fastidious with?
No, I've got a signed Reggie Miller jersey that lives in the garage because my wife won't let me put it up anywhere.
I've got all my records in alphabetical and genre order.
Yeah, that's good.
So I've got general rock, pop, funk, etc. No, actually, well, there's a separate New Orleans section. There's a separate Mexico Latin section. A separate Brazil is a standalone section. Jazz is a separate section. Then there's compilations, like all those soul jazz records. But yeah, when you get the records out, it's like AC/DC, ABBA, AC/DC, Air Supply, Bangles, Beatles, and if they get out of order, I get really upset. And I've also got them chronologically too in some subsections, like REM starts with Murmur, Life's Rich Pageant, Fables of the Reconstruction, Document, Green.
I feel like I got an insight. This is when you're in the retirement home and they're like, David, it's time for dinner, and you'll be like, and then Queen is in the Q section, and then after that we have the Virginia Cyclone Mob and their first album. David, it's time for your dinner. Let's.
Shut up! I'm counting.
Let's check traffic.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad today. We've got a smash to keep in mind at Waterloo Corner, north-south motorway near the interchange. Bit of still water over the road at Crafts from all that rain over the past day or so. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Sluggish South Road at Edwardstown in front of Castle Plaza are getting busy at the moment at Main North Road, Enfield heading into the city. Camera at Victoria Road, Larks Bay. Choose fuel uncertainty and being over a barrel, or choose Polestar. 100% electric. See end of financial offers at polestar.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in my boots. Register or donate today.
National business class travel to conferences, business class flights and accommodation, with individual trips costing up to $28,000.
Graham Goodings.
It raises serious questions about accountability and value for taxpayers.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Stuff it, Barry. We're going to Liechtenstein.
With first month storage for just $1 at Storage King, Bev and Barry can finally go travel.
Hold on tight, Barry!
Stuff it. Live more. Visit Storage King today. Conditions apply.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
For 20 years, FIVEAA Milk Company has been in your fridge, in your smoothies, kids' cereal or morning coffee. Through the good years and the tough ones, dairy farming hasn't been easy. But because you choose to back a bunch of passionate SA dairy farmers and continue to do so, we're still here. That's 20 years local families providing local jobs for our great state. Look for FIVEAA Milk Company products at your supermarket. And let's keep a good thing going.
Are the potatoes done?
30 seconds.
What about the desserts?
For over 12,000 South Australians, the most important meal of the day is from Meals on Wheels.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Roger. How are you? Behind the meals and behind the wheels are our wonderful volunteers.
Amanda, hello. Smells delicious.
Become a volunteer today and help us keep the wheels turning.
See you tomorrow, Chris.
Visit mealsonwheelssa.org.au for details.
Get ahead of winter with comfy credits from Origin. Move with Origin and you could get up to $200 in bill credits. That's $100 for natural gas and $100 for electricity, keeping you comfy and in control this winter. That's all kinds of useful. Search Origin today. New and moving residential customers only. Sign up by 30th of June and stay until 30th of June. Bill credit includes GST. T's and C's and eligibility apply.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Hi, Matt Crouch here. Feeling the pinch at the petrol pump?
With fuel prices on the rise, now's the perfect time to drive smarter with budget car and truck rental. Our growing fleet of hybrid vehicles helps you go further, using less fuel and with the comfort and reliability you expect. Whether it's a weekend away, a work trip, or you just need a car for a few days, Budget has hybrid options ready to go. Drive more, spend less on fuel. Budget car and truck rental. 13 27 27. That's 13 27 27.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
And speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Geneva.
Tim Geneva on 5AA Breakfast.
I imagine he sprang out of bed to talk to us this morning about the Crows' big win last night. Timmy G, good morning to you.
Hey, boys, did you see we lost the cricket to Pakistan?
We've got a few texts to that effect, Tim. A few people say there's not enough cricket conversation this morning.
Oh, wow, what a win. It's been talked about trying to beat a top 4 team and, I would say improving the way they move the ball and the like. And there was a lot of talk over 2 weeks, of course, waiting to get that opportunity. And they delivered it. They delivered it. As simple as that. I thought a couple of really highlighting moments for me. Young Michael Annie on Jeremy Cameron was just an outstanding job. Now, we know it wasn't a great night for big forwards and the like, and most of them were well held at both ends, but I just thought the matchup will do that lad enormous amount of confidence, the way he took him out of the game. I thought it was a superb game. Sorry, he won't get a lot of stats or a lot of accolades for it, but the game itself and the way he went about it was outstanding.
How are you feeling ahead of the West Coast game for Port on Saturday night, Tim? Over there, and they've had a couple of wins now, the Weagles. Do you regard it as a danger game?
Well, there's no such thing as a danger game when you're third to bottom. So I'll just clarify that. I think we've got to understand where we are, David.
I was just trying to be polite, mate.
Yeah, look, I was just saying that my co-commentator, the great Patrick Goldsmith, of course, and saying to him that we now look at every game about, I think, who we're moving forward with, and not so much about who played well or can we beat the West Coast over there. I think it's more about who can we now move forward with, and that's the watch, I think, from here. You've got to be happy with your win, though, boys. I was looking at it again, just in bits and pieces, and I just thought, and I'll get your opinion, but the way the guys were really hot on trying to move that ball forward, and the debut of young Hall Kahan, I actually think you got something there.
It's a remarkable story. It felt like a bad night for AFL recruiters, I reckon, Timmy. If that bloke's been running around in the VFL and he can step up on a Thursday night against a quality opponent and look like he'd played 150 games, I just wonder what they're doing.
Look, I think the problem is they all look at an under-18 competition and go, oh, wow, look at that. I reckon some players don't mature till they're 21, 22.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of it. And I think you get players that get overlooked and play unbelievable careers. I mean, the best example of this is Jai Newcomb at Hawthorn. What a play. He's co-captain. He came out of, the domestic comp in a midfield role. So it's just something you got to keep your eyes out and be a bit more brave perhaps at draft time. But yeah, that's a really good story. About the clash of heads with him and Toby Murray. Oh, that was horrible.
He affected that holding the ball that effectively sealed it. It was just what a remarkable story. Yeah, there were so many great stories in the night. We spoke a bit about them earlier. Jordan Dawson's game was electric. You had Dan Curtin coming of age and Taylor Walker seeming not to age. 20 years ago, he was drafted, and somehow he looked like the best key forward on the ground again last night.
Yeah, spot on there. It's just, what would you say? 1 point can make a difference to your life.
There's been 3 of them. There's been 3 one-point games.
Exactly.
Right. Our mood would be a little bit different.
It changes the whole weekend. I mean, you guys don't care about the budget. It's just fantastic.
The Treasurer's standing out there. The Treasurer's here.
Tom Coots and Toner's about to come in.
In fact,
this is the only time he's been happy the Crows have won all year. Yeah. Everyone in South Australia's happy.
He wants us to talk footy. In fact, he wants to talk more budget than Port Adelaide at the moment. He was shaking his head when we talked about the West Coast fixture, so it's a sign of the times. Good on you, Timmy.
Cheers, Tim.
All right, hooroo, boys.
All right, the Treasurer, Tom Coots and Tonis, will join us live in the studio next.
A test drive should test the car, not your patience. In the city, it's traffic lights, roundabouts and stop-start driving. So take your foot off the brake and open it up a little. Come to Barossa Auto Group and test drive all the big brands. Ford, Volkswagen, Honda and Kia. Available to test drive through the stunning Barossa. We'll even buy you lunch to make a day of it. T's and C's apply. Barossa Auto Group. Tanunda and Nuri Utpa. Book a test drive today.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
17 with a shower or two today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
A dog has been treated for smoke inhalation after a suspicious fire in the northern suburbs. Emergency crews were called to Wamma Road at Elizabeth North just after 3 this morning. Senior Constable Matt Hale says police want to hear from anyone who might have seen the arsonists.
We're calling out for witnesses. If you saw any suspicious activity in the street overnight or a dash cam or CCTV footage that can help our investigation, get in touch now through Crime Stoppers.
A drink driver's lost his licence after crashing his car at Seaford Rise last night. Police were called to Commercial Road just before 6:30 after reports a car being driven erratically had hit a pedestrian crossing pole before continuing on. The Toyota station wagon was tracked to a home address. A 27-year-old Port Noarlunga South man recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.192, nearly 4 times the legal limit. He'll face court later. The RBA governor believes even in a worst-case scenario, Australia is likely to avoid a recession. Emily Saunders explains.
The RBA governor has told senators she expects inflation to peak at more than 4.5%, warning future predictions remain uncertain while the Middle East conflict remains ongoing. Appearing in Senate estimates, members of the RBA board discussed the state of Australia's economy, with early indicators rate hikes made so far this year are taking effect.
We've already seen some signs that this tightening is starting to work, though it will take around 1 to 2 years for the full effects to fully flow through to the economy.
A Melbourne court has heard an ISIS bride allegedly helped her father keep a sex slave who he repeatedly raped in their Syrian home after buying her for $10,000. Zainab Ahmad is also accused of posting messages on social media about the death of Americans and their allies. It comes as the 31-year-old applies for bail after being arrested last month at Melbourne Airport. A Nepalese guide thought to have died on Mount Everest 6 days ago has turned up alive after his funeral rites had begun. The 52-year-old was last seen in the mountain's so-called death zone, where oxygen levels are too low for long-term survival. Researchers have ruled out a popular theory on how the Stonehenge rocks were moved. New modelling has determined transport by glacier ice wouldn't have been possible given the boulder's age. Curtin University's Dr. Anthony Clark says the more the ancient monument is studied, the more questions he has.
So it really does look like that humans around 4,000 years ago transported the altar stone 700 kilometres southwards to be at Stonehenge. How they did that? They could have used boats, they could have used rollers, it could have been an epic journey over land or over sea. We may never know that answer.
The US president insists progress is being made in efforts to stop fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. The terrorist group has rejected an American-brokered deal to extend the tentative ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, contingent on an end to Hezbollah attacks. But Donald Trump is adamant the group wants fighting to end.
And I think Hezbollah, I will tell you, they called us and they said, how about stopping? And I think you're going to see things happen over there. That's been like a little bit of a different world, but it's interconnected with Iran. And it would be really nice if Lebanon could have some peace.
Now to Returning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Tom ran another thriller at Adelaide Oval last night.
It's the third one-point victory they've had this season at Adelaide Oval. Can you believe it, Jess?
We are the cardiac crows.
It was an amazing game, yes. I think there's a few that are suffering from a bit of a heartbeat issue this morning, and that's after that amazing one-point victory last night at Adelaide Oval against Geelong. It's just their second victory over the Cats in their last 11 attempts for Adelaide. Cats coach Chris Scott, though, says they just couldn't quite get it done.
I don't think it was won and lost in the last few minutes. We had our chances to win it. We were a little bit disappointed with some of our execution late, but high pressure, difficult to communicate in that situation. In a lot of key areas, we were well on top. The fact that we couldn't quite capitalise right at the end was a little bit of a pattern.
A few issues, though, for the Crows injury-wise. Callum Archie, in particular, with a hamstring issue. Jordan Butts with a calf problem. And a couple of players collided late in the game, including Hugo Hawke-Kahan and also Toby Murray. Those two expected, though, to be okay. Let's get to some tennis. Enormous emotion at the French Open with qualifier Maya Holinski through to the final after a straight sets win against Diana Schneider.
C'était match, Holinska demande 0, 7-6, 6-4.
The qualifier is into the final.
Audio there thanks to Nine. She'll take on Mira Andreeva in the final. The men's semi-finals will be played a little bit later tonight. And Jess, that is the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's check the traffic.
Morning there. The odd passing shower, nothing too bad though this morning, but do have a crash to look out for at Waterloo Cornets on the north-south motorway near the interchange. Bit of still water over the road at Crafers at the moment. Waverley Ridge Road just near the roundabout. Slow going right now, Fullerton Road at the Glen Osmond Road intersection, and getting busy Marion Road at the Anzac Highway area. Early morning camera today, Victoria Road, Lights Bay. Smash your tax time at JB Hi-Fi with ridiculous deals like $400 off the latest Samsung Galaxy S26 phones, while stocks last at JB Hi-Fi. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy on Sunday, partly cloudy and 19 for the holiday Monday. Right now it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
G'day, it's Eddie May here from NRG Solar. We've grown from 3 staff at the beginning to 30, 40 staff and a number of contractors now. And radio's definitely played a big part of that. We've been working with 5AA for 5 or 6 years now. And in that time, we've seen a lot of businesses come and go in our industry. And I think that's a great example of people having a go, short periods of time, not happy, leave. And for us, that longevity has enabled us to have a really great relationship with the audience. So when we meet someone that's a 5AA customer, they feel like they know us and we feel like we know them, and it makes for a really great experience for everyone involved.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe, thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Harvey Norman's half-yearly clearance is on now, and there are some terrific deals on Acer technology. That means it's the best time to grab the Acer Aspire Go 15.6-inch laptop, now just $798, powered by an Intel Core 3 processor with 16 gig of RAM, a 512 gig SSD, and full HD display. Or save $500 on the Acer Swift Go 14 AI laptop, now $1,298, featuring a Core Ultra 5 processor, 16 gig of RAM, a 512 gig SSD and 14-inch OLED screen. And for gamers, save $80 on the Acer Nitro 27-inch Full HD monitor, now just $178. Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best clearance prices.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Now, it seems like the price of everything is increasing, but when it comes to your travel plans, you can rely on Red Spot car rentals to keep car hire fair.
Did you know they're the only Aussie family-owned and operated car rental company inside airport terminals? They're also the only car rental company who've kept their prices low during the fuel crisis.
And it's that kind of integrity that saw Red Spot recently win Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. So whether you're looking to hire a new car or want to save a bit more on a hybrid,
you can rely on Red Spot for honest, consistent pricing and service. Book direct at redspot.com.au today or call 1300 66 8810.
Fatty plaque. Sounds nasty, doesn't it? And it is.
Fatty plaque is made of cholesterol particles that can accumulate in your arteries and even stop blood flow, contributing to heart attacks, heart failure, stroke and dementia, Australia's biggest killers. Treatments are being developed at SAMRI and they're all game changers. But SAMRI needs donations to help with clinical testing. Visit samri.org.au and help us give plaque the flick. That's samri.org.au.
Knockdown, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Twenty minutes to 8. You can watch along on the Facebook and YouTube live stream right now, supported this week by walkamile.org.au. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boost. Register or donate today. And if you are watching along on the live stream, you'll see we're joined post-state budget by the Treasurer of South Australia, Tom Koutsantonis. Treasurer, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for coming in, Tom Koutsantonis. This is your first budget for the Malinowskis government, taking over from Stephen Mulligan. I mean, this is a compliment in a way. This budget is a bit boring.
Good.
You know what I mean by boring? Like
yes.
There's nothing in it.
Because the federal one was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was far too exciting. Too exciting.
I don't think treasurers should be, not in the news for the wrong reasons.
Is that a slap at your federal colleagues?
No, I like Jim. He's a good mate of mine. I just think
you've approached budgets quite differently, though.
We do. We do. He's running a national economy. I'm helping a state economy. My job is to make sure that the Premier's vision is implemented and that I reflect the Premier's values. The people elected a Labor government, but they elected a Labor leader, and that leader's Peter Malinowskis, and they like his style of politics. They like his brand of the Labor Party, and I want to reflect that.
So no new taxes, no increases to existing taxes, all those things are positives, but the negatives, and today's front page of the Times has got you there, you and Peter Malinowskis, the debt shop boys.
I don't mind the pet shop boys. I've always sort of liked them. In fact, last night I was seeing their cover of Always on My Mind, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, but to the point that the paper is making,
yep,
it's a $5 billion jump in debt.
Yes. Well, I mean, anyone driving along the North-South corridor or driving past Port Road at the Women's and Children's Hospital knows where that money's being spent. We're at a point where our freight is moving at 25 kilometres per hour in sections of the North-South corridor, and 77% of our freight moves on road.
I think our listeners get that, and everyone who uses the road is looking forward to the day when suddenly it's done, and that's great. But
toll-free too, by the way.
Totally. But equally, there is also public clamour for also seeing the day where debt starts to come down, and there's nothing in the budget that points to that day.
Well, yeah, because we're in the middle of consuming and building that project, and we project 4 years forward. So as we get closer and closer to the end of these projects, and you're already seeing debt to revenue begin to drop. I mean, the one thing about the front page of the paper that if you read it, they talk about the debt interest bill per day being about $7 million. The part that I was very keen for the advertiser and South Australians to understand is that we're also receiving $105 million a day in revenue. So in terms of as a percentage of how much we're spending on debt as a percentage of our revenue is relatively low. South Australia is not the same economy it was in the 1980s. It's a very different economy now. It's growing. There's a lot more private sector investment. The place has got a buzz about it. We're building infrastructure because it's going to grow the economy. We get something out of it. We're not borrowing money to pay wages. We're not Victoria. So I want people to have a bit of perspective about the debt. You got to borrow productively to invest. Most households listen to this program. About a third of South Australians live debt-free. About a third have a mortgage, and about a third rent. That's rough numbers, right? If you've got a mortgage, your debt to revenue ratio is well over 400%, close to 500% if you're a new home buyer. We're running debt to revenue ratios that right now are under 100%. And once we finish the North-South corridor, on today's valuations, we'll be just over 100%. But that's not factoring the valuations on the economy in 4 years' time. So we're going to grow.
I want to focus a little bit on, or ask a question about the revenue component of that debt to revenue equation, because it just doesn't gel with some of the forecasting we're seeing happening elsewhere. And I speak specifically about the stamp duty tax take over the course of the next 4 years, things like the ESL, things that are pegged to the value of houses and land. Because you've got Macquarie, you've got Combank, I think, today saying somewhere between 0% growth and 10% reductions in the value of homes. And yet, over the next 4 years in the budget, you're saying you're going to be taking more money on stamp duty. And those projections seem to suggest two things. Either the value of homes falls or people sell fewer homes because people hold on to them. And both those things are bad for revenue, are they not?
They are. They are. So this is the way Treasury explained it to me, and I think this is a good way to explain
and
it.
You can thank your mate Jim Chalmers for that too.
Well, yeah. So there's two things. You heard Bronte from Two for Two maintaining the rage on the federal budget, talking about how this is a Sydney-Melbourne issue about the slowing and reduction in value. Yeah, there are fewer transactions in South Australia, but the values are higher. So what you're seeing is there's still a very small vacancy rate for the rental market. There is still not enough homes in the state. We have still got a shortage. So in Perth, Adelaide and Brisbane, you are seeing values grow, but transactions slow. So we'll have fewer transactions, but the value of those transactions is larger, which is what's maintaining our revenues.
Still seem to pose something of a risk, though.
It is a risk, which is why Treasury have put very conservative forecasts in. If you look at in the budget papers, in the budget statement at the back of it, and you would have seen it in the display yesterday, Pembo, is that we've put very conservative, optimistically, very conservative forecasts for employment growth and GSP growth, because we want to have those conservative forecasts on revenue, but we are very, very accurate with our expenditure. So we overexpress our expenditure in the budget and we underestimate our revenues, and we do that deliberately.
Is potentially one of the biggest enemies of this budget and your future economic settings another one of your federal mates, Mark Butler? Because when you hear the federal budget, they're trumpeting, we've saved all this money on the NDIS. Well, they have. Is the country necessarily going to save that money, or are you going to end up going, hang on, now what, we're going to find $1 billion or something for autism programs?
Well, I suppose it depends on how this occurs. If he's right, and most of the fraud in the NDIS is the savings, and it's just fraudsters who are being kicked off, then fine. But if it's real people who've got legitimate needs, who are now no longer eligible for the NDIS but have legitimate concerns about their health and need assistance, they're going to come to us. And when they come to us, I don't have a program in place ready to fund all this activity. There's not.
It could be billions of dollars.
It could be billions. It could be hundreds of millions, I think, but it could be billions. And my very strong message to the Commonwealth Government is, we're not the safety net. We don't have the revenue levers that they do. If they've decided to make savings on the NDIS, great. Clear up the corruption. We're all supportive of that. But that doesn't mean, dropping your litter on someone else's front lawn. We are not capable of picking up this slack. Now, we've got programs in place. The Commonwealth Government have been very generous with us with Thriving Kids to try and invest in it. But I can't pick up all the slack. And I think that's something we've got to look at over the next coming weeks and months. And every treasurer around the country, Labor and Liberal, is very concerned about this.
I was particularly fascinated in a section of the budget where you went to great lengths to explain the concept of relativity in terms of not Einstein, but in terms of how the GST is carved up. And it felt to me a bit like when the US moves a carrier group to a region, it's going to kick off. You spent 2 pages talking about the difference between the old GST carve-up model and the current one. The current one, which would see us some $475 million worse off than under the old model for the upcoming year, and would see the West Australian government, who just reported a $3.5 billion surplus, $6.7 billion better off. Are you guys gearing up to go to war on this?
Absolutely. The 7th Fleet's moving into the Pacific. Yeah, absolutely. No. I saw federal Labor MPs talking about saving Western Australia's GST. Well, I want to see South Australian federal Labor MPs talking about South Australia's GST. Look, the Commonwealth Government have been very good to South Australia. In Whyalla, they were right alongside us, right? They're with us with Port Pirie. They help us with health. They help us with the North-South corridor. They're doing their bit, and I thank them for it. But GST is existential. If this sort of make good provision that's in place is not extended, the states are in serious trouble. Because we will have a 2-speed economy where Western Australia will be this nirvana where they've got rivers and rivers of cash flowing into their state from GST, and the rest of the country can't fund its hospitals. So we need to do something about it,
hasn't it? I mean, they can knock up a stadium overnight. They've got no debt.
Well, they've got $40 billion worth of debt.
I thought they had none.
No, they got debt.
I should have been paying attention when those slides were being put up on the screen.
he was focused on the burgers.
Matt Abraham was too busy heckling. He couldn't concentrate.
I couldn't hear because of Matt Abraham.
You got to really enjoy Matthew Abraham. It's sort of like the old line sitting there. You know, I've seen this before. I've seen people like you come and go.
I didn't think the Premier looked overly impressed when Matt actually started heckling him in what wasn't a press conference, though. But no, it certainly livened things up.
Yeah, I think
was otherwise a fairly dull afternoon.
We are going to focus on GST, and you'll be seeing more of a campaign for us. And I'm letting taxpayers know we'll be using taxpayers' dollars for it as well. The idea that we can just sit quietly while this change in relativity, which was done by the Morrison government to try and win votes in Western Australia, now that can't be removed because people can't lose votes in Western Australia, is not sustainable. The rest of the country can't allow it. You know, HFE has built this nation to what it is. We can't just abandon it.
Horizontal fiscal equalisation.
There you go. You were paying attention.
That's right. Okay. Tom Keats and Tonus, thanks very much for coming in today.
Thank you, guys.
Morning there, Waterloo Corner. Got a few delays with the crash this morning, the north-south motorway near the interchange. Outside of that, roads not looking too bad this morning. Got a still water over the road at Crafers, just at Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout from all that rain over the past couple of days. Starting to slow up at the moment at Edwardstown, South Road near Ackland Street, and works slow at Parra Hills West at the moment. Speeds down to 40 Bridge Road near Somerset Road for works. Early morning camera, North Street, Henley Beach. Harrow Scarf mid-season sale is on now. Save 50% off full-price flannelette sheets. See conditions online. Harrow Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Deals for the long weekend at BWS. Get a 10-pack of Bundaberg Rum and Cola variety cans for $46. Save 9. Hurry, offer ends Monday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Buying or selling a home isn't something you do every day. It's a major decision. So who you trust to guide you matters, and that choice can feel overwhelming.
But when you work with Harcourt's Port Adelaide Largs Bay, you're choosing a team built on trust, experience and real results. Led by Callan and locals who understand your market, know how buyers think and can create the right strategy to get you moving.
From your first chat right through to settlement, Harcourts will support you, keep you across every step and make sure you feel confident along the way.
So if you're thinking of selling, buying or simply want honest advice before making a move, talk to Harcourt's Port Adelaide Largs Bay today. Call into 71 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide.
Get ahead of winter with comfy credits from Origin. Move with Origin and you could get up to $200 in bill credits. That's $100 for natural gas and $100 for electricity, keeping you comfy and in control this winter. That's all kinds of useful. Search Origin today. New and moving residential customers only. Sign up by 30th of June and stay until 30th of June. Bill credit includes GST. T's and C's and eligibility apply.
Who wants to go on a holiday? Dreaming of your next getaway? With Travel Auctions, the choice is yours. From powered sites for caravanners to holiday cabins, relaxing cruises and hotel escapes, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. You bid the price you want to pay. With Travel Auctions, it's as simple as placing a bid, and if you are successful, hello holiday. TravelAuctions.com.au or call 1300 656573. No hidden fees, just great deals.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 8, we're talking about the budget with the Treasurer of South Australia, but we're asking you about your budget for the meat tray this morning, thanks to Olga's Fine Foods. Tell you what, pop Olga's Fine Foods meat in the fridge, and that'll sort the budget out for a couple of weeks. We're asking you about what will never be removed from your budget. What's something you will not cut? What is something the last thing you'd cut if you had to cut something from your very own home budget? Ange and Two Wells, good morning.
G'day, boys. I would sell my cat if I had the budget and get rid of KO Sports. Every male would be thinking the same thing, wouldn't they? Hey, can you imagine a household of men that love sport without KO Sports?
It would be a
Come
miserable
on, guys.
existence, Ange. You're right. It would be a miserable existence.
The KO people like that one.
Thank you. Let's go to Mario in Hectorville. Morning, Mario.
Morning, how are we?
Good, mate.
That's good. I cannot do without my pedicures.
Pedicures?
My pedicures.
Never had a pedicure, mate. I'd find.
You don't know what you're missing, Dave.
Doesn't it tickle having someone fondling your toes?
When did you start getting pedicures, Mario?
Well, to be honest, I broke a couple of ribs a few years ago, and I just couldn't do my own nails, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to walk into this nail place and have my toes done, and I can't not have them now.
Unbelievable.
Did you ever get them coloured too, mate? Bung a bit of polish on them?
Well, when Nord won the flag in 22, yes, I got my big toes. One red and one navy blue.
How do your mates go with you getting pedicures, Mario? Do you cop any ripping?
Absolutely.
Hey, look, you're comfortable with who you are, mate, and we salute you for that.
Mario.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you.
That's a great call.
The pampered Mario is well and truly in the running to win the meat tray this morning.
Well, I'm not sure what our next guest makes of that while he's been on hold, but Arenu Sharma, I'm looking forward to this chat. If you're looking for something completely different to do this weekend, folks, how's this? Adelaide is hosting the largest national celebration of Indian cinema ever held outside India. That's right. The National Indian Film Festival of Australia kicks off at the Mercury Cinema tonight. And Anu Sharma is both a director in his own right and also the director of the festival. Anu, good morning, and thanks so much for coming on the show to talk about this.
No, thank you for supporting us.
Well, look, tell us about Indian cinema beyond Bollywood, because I reckon a lot of our listeners, if you say anything, a word association type thing, say anything about Indian film, they'd immediately say Bollywood.
That's right, and that's one of the reasons why we started this festival, because there's so many films which are not Bollywood film which never end up being in Australia. Now, I don't know if you read a couple of months ago, there was some data out in Australia that Bollywood and the commercial cinema of Indian films, their box office in Australia is more than Australian films.
Wow.
There is a film called Dhurandhar, which is screening, which is a 4-hour, 10-minute thriller from North India, from Bollywood genre. That's cost $8.5 million on Australian box office. So obviously there is appetite for films, and the films are being made in so many languages. So we started the National Indian Film Festival. I originally come from Adelaide, so I brought it last year as well.
Right.
And we had a huge response. And this year we are back. Last year the festival was 8 cities, including Adelaide. But this year we have 14 cities, including historic outreach in Alice Spring and Broken Hill. We have an official selection of 32 films in 15 different languages. And the beauty is that each one of them is an Australian premiere or higher status. So they have never been seen in theatres in Australia before. They're all English subtitles. And we are just loving the way, the response we are getting, particularly from people not of Indian origin in Australia.
Yeah.
We played at Dexter Cinema in Darwin, and a lovely Australian bloke came up to us and he said, I know chances are that 1 out of my 3 or 4 neighbours will be from South Asia or India. And the best way to learn about their culture is through their cinema. And that was such a heartwarming response, because we could do with a bit of reducing the ignorance and more love for others.
Yeah, 100%. So with India, India is now the most populous nation on earth. It's got a larger population than China. The Indian film industry must be like, it would go close to even eclipsing the US, wouldn't it now?
That's right. It's pretty huge, but it's also why it is huge, which is important. I directed a Australian feature documentary called Bollywood Down Under, which is on Netflix, if you or your audience want to have a look. And it looks at how since 1890s, films have become such a huge thing in India, including the fact that there are temples for some of the lead actors in South India. Actual physical temples. So it's the power of the following. And most of them end up, recently the chief minister of a popular state in South India, again, a film actor. So it's the reach and its medium as a cultural institution. In this festival, for example, NIFA, we are showcasing a film called Manthan, which means the churning of the ocean. It's a film which has been restored to 4K. We have got the Australian premiere of the film. And the film was made in 1970s, the first crowd-funded film, people say, where each farmer put in 2 rupees, and 500,000 of them put in 2 rupees each to fund this film about the milk revolution in India.
Yeah.
That is how deeply film is a part of their culture. They will not only watch it, but they will crowdfund it to tell their story.
It's incredible, the weight of numbers. And I was reading about that movie. It sounds amazing, sort of regarded as one of the first protest films. Well, look, it's been great chatting to you ahead of the festival, Anu. And as I said, you know, I think when you ever get into a new culture, like I've got a bit of a Mexico thing. I've seen so many Mexican movies now, and if you just sort of get through the whole subtitle thing, you just, it teaches you so much more about other countries and their way of life. And with such a great and, you know, excellent contribution that Indian Aussies are making, it's an honour for Adelaide to have this festival here. Thanks for coming on, mate.
It's right on 8 o'clock. 5AA News is coming up, breaking at 8 in just a moment. We've got Feedback Friday ahead. We'll wrap the top 5 of the week, award a meat tray, and have Feedback Friday all in the next hour.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
17 with a shower or two today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
A Port Noarlunga South man has lost his licence after blowing almost 4 times the legal limit. He was nabbed at home after police tracked his Toyota station wagon from Commercial Road at Seaford Rise. Senior Constable Matt Hale says he had a bumpy ride.
Members of the public had called in about a car that was driving erratically, had actually hit a pedestrian crossing sign, but then kept on driving.
He'll face court at a later date. Police are hunting an arsonist after a house went up in flames at Elizabeth North overnight. Emergency crews were called to Wamma Road just after 3 a.m. to find the property ablaze. They managed to bring it under control within 10 minutes, but the damage is substantial. A dog was rescued and treated for smoke inhalation. Anyone who saw suspicious activity in the area is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The Fair Work Commission has closed a loophole which allowed NDIS providers to shortchange staff. The ASU estimates 30,000 workers were being paid up to $7 an hour less than their employers were being funded for. Union Secretary Angus McFarlane says it's a significant boost for the sector.
Our estimate is that 10% of the workforce have been experiencing these underpayments. Making sure these workers are now paid properly and fairly will help retain and attract people.
An open letter has been sent to the Prime Minister urging the government to consider stronger gambling reforms. Former Prime Minister John Howard is among the signatories, along with several coalition MPs. The group argues Labor's current proposed legislation doesn't go far enough. Australia's largest ever raid on illegal insects has biosecurity officials sounding the alarm for pet owners. Toby Goff explains.
More than 100,000 exotic cockroaches have been seized from a commercial breeder in central western New South Wales. The haul from Bathurst, including Madagascar and dubia roaches, pushing an estimated street value of $200,000. The Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water says the foreign species are completely illegal in Australia and are major biosecurity threats. Reptile keepers who use the foreign pests as lizard feed are being urged to switch to legal alternatives like crickets or wood roaches immediately or face severe penalties.
The UN is investigating a mortar strike in Lebanon that's killed a Serbian peacekeeper and injured 2 soldiers from Spain and El Salvador. Initial reports suggest the fire came from north of Litani River amid escalating clashes between Israel and Hezbollah. Both sides have rejected the latest ceasefire proposals, complicating efforts to end the Middle East conflict. Governor-General Sam Mostyn is preparing to go down the Big Freeze slide at the MCG on Monday. Big Freeze 12 comes just 2 weeks after the passing of Fight MND co-founder Neil Danaher. The Governor-General says she's not revealing what her costume will be, but has spoken to a former AFL coach about the slide.
John Longmire called me and said, as a previous slider, it's okay for me to wear a wetsuit under my costume. So I will have a wetsuit on because if John Longmire can wear one, so can I.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jess. Adelaide has survived an epic match against bogey side Geelong, coming out on top by a single point in a thriller at Adelaide Oval. It's the third one-point victory the Crows have had at home this season, this one coming against a side they've lost 6 in a row against. Coach Matthew Nicks admits he wasn't sure it would go their way.
I aged 5 years in the box. Your heart's in your mouth when it comes towards the end there, and it is incredible. I talk about how much I rate us. It's so hard to come in here sometimes, knowing how good you are and how close you are as a club, and yet you haven't got the result. It is nice to get one of these every now and then against a really high-quality opposition, just to give you some belief.
Amazing game, but the win did come at a cost. Calamarchi re-injured his hamstring and Jordan Butts hurt his calf, while Hugo Hawke-Kahan and Toby Murray had a nasty collision. That was in the final term, although both were then cleared. Meantime, Port Adelaide has made 3 changes for its match tomorrow night against West Coast. Lockie Jones is in, along with Tom Cochrane and Jackson Mead, while Kane Farrell is injured and Tom Anastasopoulos and Jack Watkins have been dropped. Let's go to tennis, and the French Open women's final will be played between Russia's Mira Andreeva and Polish qualifier Maja Horlinska after both had wins overnight. The men's semis will also be played tonight between Jakub Benzik and Alexander Zverev, while the other semis, and an all-Italian affair, Matteo Arnaldi will take on Flavio Caboli. Let's go to golf, and a strong start for the Aussie women, where Karis Davidson and Minjee Lee are one shot back from the lead. That's at the US Open in California after the first round. Meantime, 4 players, Tommy Fleetwood, JJ Spawn, Wyndham Clark and Ryan Gerard, share the lead. That's after the opening round of the Memorial Tournament in Ohio. Adam Scott, the best of the Aussies, 5 shots back. In cricket, Australia's lost its one-day series against Pakistan after going down in Game 3 by 4 wickets in Lahore. In basketball, the New York Knicks have taken a 1-0 series lead in the NBA Finals after a 105-95-point win. That was against the San Antonio Spurs. And Mercedes driver George Russell has declared the Formula One Championship is Kimi Antonelli's to lose. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. The odd shower passing through, so damp roads in a few spots. Take it nice and easy. Bit of still water over the road at the moment at Crafers due to that rain over the last couple of days. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Got a smash causing delays at Waterloo Corner today. The north-south motorway near the Waterloo Corner interchange, and getting busy South Road, Mile End. Camera this morning, Hart Street semaphore. Smash attack time at JB Hi-Fi with ridiculous deals like $400 off the latest Samsung Galaxy S26 phones, while stocks last at JB Hi-Fi. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy on Sunday, partly cloudy and 19 for the holiday Monday. Right now it's 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Do you know what really keeps your Royal Flying Doctor Service in the air? You. Without you, the Royal Flying Doctor Service can't save lives. Without you, our remote communities would be left alone, without hope, thousands of them. From newborns to seniors, motor vehicle and farming accidents, any medical emergency, no matter where you live, work or play. For the people and the life you love, keep the Flying Doctor flying. Show your support. Donate today. Visit flyingdoctor.org.au.
Built like a brick house. Basic Trailers are your best mate for any load. Use the code 5AA to pay only $1 for rego on purchase of your new trailer. True blue deal at Paraka. Basic Trailers. Basically, better.
Now, there's nothing like discovering a hidden gem, especially when it leads to your new favourite bottle of wine. I tell you what, being at Thorn Clark today, you know, with the fire on, glass of red, a cheese board, just outside of Angaston. It's a family-owned boutique winery combining tranquility with perfectly curated wine.
You'll be asking yourself, why haven't I been here before? As you take in the sprawling gardens and panoramic views, enjoy a wine tasting customised to you while enjoying a platter of local Barossa Valley produce.
And then end your day at the driving range overlooking the Eden Valley Vineyard. Take home a few bottles from their Sandpiper and Shopfire ranges, especially the new Shopfire Collector's Heritage Edition Shiraz.
Next time you head to the Barossa Valley, go the extra mile. Make Thorn Clark Wines your first stop. Cellar door opens 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday to Sunday.
Finding your next Volkswagen? That part's easy. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, the end of financial year unlocked event has drive-away deals racing out the door. There's a huge range of new and demo Volkswagens ready for delivery right now. Plenty of colours, plenty of options. On-site finance, next-day servicing. But it won't last. So if you've been waiting, this is your moment. Get an end of financial year drive-away deal before it's gone. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Toop and Toop has been named Australia's #1 large residential agency of the year at the Real Estate Institute of Australia National Awards. It's a proud moment and a reflection of more than 40 years helping South Australians buy and sell property with trusted advice, strategic expertise and exceptional results. As a family-owned agency, we're incredibly grateful to our clients and community for placing their trust in Toop and Toop since 1985. To learn more, visit toop.com.au.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 minutes after 8, big last hour for the week coming up. Feedback Friday after 8:30. 3 contestants, 3 prizes, no wrong answers. Our World Cup of South Australia enters day 15 just before 8:30. We'll give away a meat tray thanks to Olga's Fine Foods and then wrap things up with the top 5 moments of the week.
Well, today's Breaking at 8 is actually a continuation of yesterday's Breaking 8 because it involves something completely jaw-dropping that I only found out this morning, namely that the Albanese government had been secretly using something called an Integrated Assessment Tool, the IAT, to assess people's applications to receive help. This is older people, frail people, sick people, elderly people who need help around the house. They've been using this thing called the IAT to assess their applications to receive help through the My Aged Care scheme. Now, this AI-style thing, it was rolled out, it wasn't trialled, it was rolled out without consultation and without any mechanism for trained professionals to override its decision. So it might explain why, we'll have listeners who are in this position. They might have serious conditions, they've put in their forms, and it's been a computer says no scenario, as happened with the Rees family, with Greg, who's suffering from MND, a prognosis of 12 months to live. And even though he got classified for the highest level of care, it was deemed by the computer to be non-urgent. Well, mercifully, the Libs are all over this. Senator Anne Ruston is the Shadow Minister for Health. I think she was in estimates when all this came to light. Anne, good morning. Thanks for coming on. This really is quite scandalous, I think.
Well, it is really quite outrageous that we've got a situation where older Australians' care needs and the priority of those care needs are being decided by a computer and not by a human. And despite often the qualified assessors determining that the older person needs a much, much higher level of care, they have got no capacity to overturn the decision of the computer. So you're quite right, the computer can say no. So what we're seeking to do today to say that can't happen anymore. The decision maker must be a person and not a machine.
Is that legislation, Senator, would that just be for these specific cases or across all of government?
No, well, it'll be specifically for the use of the independent assessment tool for assessing older Australians. But one of the things we're going to put in this legislation is anybody who's been assessed by this tool, whilst it has been the machine making the decision, we are going to make sure that they have the opportunity to be reassessed. So anybody who's been assessed since the 1st of November will have the opportunity to be reassessed because we know there are so many bad decisions out there.
And there's about, 900-odd people, Senator Ruston, who who've lodged complaints about the assessment that they received, yeah?
Yes, indeed. We've heard of 900 people we know that 900 people have put in a request for a review, but how many more people out there haven't chosen to put in an assessment because they're so distressed by the decision? And, you hear stories like, John Wilson, who was assessed as needing the highest level of care, told to wait 10 months, and then to add insult to injury, gets a congratulatory letter to him 2 days after he died to tell him he's got his package.
Yeah, well, yeah. That hardly cause for celebration, is it? It's a total shambles, and good on you for acting on it. Senator Anne Ruston, the Shadow Minister for Health, joining us this morning for Breaking at 8. Well, we just had the Treasurer, Tom Koutsotonis, in the studio extolling the virtues of his budget. I'm sure someone who sees it quite differently is the Leader of the Liberal Party, Ashton Hearn. Ashton Hearn, good morning.
Good morning.
He seems quite relaxed about the debt. Are you?
Oh, not at all. And I think it's pretty surprising to hear how relaxed he is about it, given the figure's about to hit $53.7 billion. And that means that there'll be an interest bill alone, Pembo, will of $3.5 billion a year. And now to put that into perspective for your listeners, that means that South Australia could essentially have a brand new women's and children's hospital built every single year off the interest bill alone. And I know that the government is obviously trying to pin this all on the infrastructure pipeline that we've got in the state, which is important. But something that hasn't really been touched on yet is the fact that every single government department blew their budget in this last year. So I think this again just underscores the fact that the government's just got no respect for the taxpayer dollar. And if we look at the last 4 years, Labor's blown their budgets by $6 billion. So it just goes to the fact that they can't manage the budget. They've got no respect for the taxpayer dollar. And you don't need to be a genius to figure out that if you can't pay off your credit card if you're blowing your budget. So we would have liked to have seen a little bit more effort put towards paying down that debt into the future.
One thing that the Treasurer has been sort of spruiking as a restraining measure on spending is the public sector freeze on new hirings in non-essential services. Do you think that goes far enough?
No, I don't. And look, it's certainly a start, but if we look at it from when Labor first came to office in 2022, they've increased the non-frontline public sector roles by nearly 5,000. So this is really a drop in the ocean, and we still have a situation where we've got the back room of the public service that is growing at nearly twice the rate of the front line. So this is definitely an area which we think that the government can go a lot further with, and we need to make sure that we've got a situation where it's businesses that are doing the heavy lifting in terms of growing the economy, and that's just not the case at the moment. Every bit of growth that we're seeing in the economy is underpinned by government investment and growth in the public sector, and we want to see it reversed.
Ashton Hearn, the Leader of the Opposition, thanks for joining us.
It's 16 minutes after 8. Best of SA is now just 7 days away. The biggest Best of SA dinner we've ever had here at 5AA, because in amongst celebrating great South Australian businesses, we're celebrating 50 years of 5AA as well. One of the businesses that will be there on the night is Ray White Business Sales.
Today we are shining a light on RWC Business Sales. Ray White Business Sales are specialist brokers who negotiate business sales and acquisitions, delivering strong, fair outcomes for both buyers and sellers. And Brett Buckley joins me now from Ray White Business Sales. Tell us, how's business been?
Business for us has been quite buoyant. Our only difficulty at the moment is people obtaining finance, but that's a common problem in our industry. But we're looking at this financial year being our biggest ever, so we're quite comfortable with where it's sitting.
And what are the growth areas for the business right now?
Most of our growth is actually in probably the $15 million to $45 million segment, so quite large, complex transactions where you really need to negotiate. They're not a sale, and where you've got to be able to create a relationship, not just the vendor but the purchaser, to ensure that you get a fair and equitable outcome.
And what sets Ray White Business Sales apart?
We are business professionals, so we're not real estate agents who have decided to go into business sales, or we're not people who have just decided, I'll get a licence and go into business sales. We're people who have been in business, we're transacted businesses outside of being brokers, we're people who understand business, we understand what makes business tick, we know how industries move up and down, and that, I think, sets us apart from our competitors.
And this is the best of SA. How do you get the best for your clients?
By working hard for them, making sure that nobody's disadvantaged, making sure that both parties receive an outcome that is sustainable, it is profitable, and it's an outcome that they themselves are happy with.
Thanks so much for your time, Brett.
Thank you.
Ray White Business Sales specialise in negotiation, helping business owners navigate sales and acquisitions with clarity and confidence. We have the World Cup of South Australia coming up in just a moment. right after we check traffic.
Morning there. Waterloo Corner crash still getting sorted. Got a few delays there too. The north-south motorway near the interchange. Bit of still water over the road at Crafers from all that rain over the past couple of days. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Getting quite busy. Fullerton Road at the Glen Osmond Road intersection just near the Arkabar Hotel. And slow going Anzac Highway at the Green Hill Road intersection. Coming this morning, Porter Expressway Gilman. Choose fuel uncertainty and being over a barrel, or choose Polestar. 100% electric. See end of financial year offers at polestar.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Trainers. Is he? Adelaide's only local sports show. Is he cactus for good? Are we done with him?
No. He'll definitely be back.
The 5AA Sports Show. Weekday afternoons from 4 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You can be waiting weeks, and look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now, with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
Great things begin with the right space. A space to work, a space to store, a space to create. Right now, build the space you've always wanted with Olympic Industries sheds, garages and outdoor storage designed for Australian lifestyles. Visit one of Olympic Industries' inspiration centres today and bring your space to life. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. All the latest tech on sale. HP laptop with AMD Athlon processor now $698. TVs, fridges, vacuums on sale. Save $300 on LG 506-litre French door fridge, now $1,988. Indoor and outdoor furniture on sale. Kyoto 5-piece round extension dining set, amazing deal, only $1,488. And Australian-made Sealy Posturepedic Acclaim Ashbury Foam Queen mattress, now $1,399. Harvey Norman. Best brands, best range, best clearance prices. In-store and online now. Conditions apply.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
You can rely on Red Spot to keep Aussie airport rentals fair. We're the only car rental company who have kept our prices low during the fuel crisis. And we're the only Aussie-owned and operated choice in major airport terminals all over the country. Experience the local service that saw us named Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. For a deal you can rely on, book your next rental direct at redspot.com.au today or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes after 8, Feedback Friday, not too far away. We've got that great meat tray thanks to Olga's Fine Foods to give away. Yeah. A lot of that turned into a sort of confessional, the meat tray this morning, as we asked people about the thing that they will never cut from their budget, inspired by the state budget and federal budgets. We've spent a lot of time talking about your home budgets in focus for the meat tray this morning. Still probably time to squeeze in an entry if you'd like to flick it through.
One thing I'd never cut is Olga's cevapcicis.
Oh.
We had some the other night. I like doing them in pita bread, get a bit of Gaganis tzatziki as well, or whip up some hummus. Hummus, you make hummus blindfolded, and it costs bugger all. It's a good cost of living dish to have at your disposal.
How good does the Olga's meat tray look like on the live stream, by the way?
You roll them up and you put parsley, some sliced red onion, heaps of parsley, bit of tomato, and all the tzatziki or hummus, and stuff as many Olga Olga's Chivapchis, you can get into your gob, into the bread, and off you go. It's like a little late-night kebab.
There you go. There's a tip, and they look magnificent too on the live stream. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in my boots. Register or donate today. walkamile.org.au.
5AA's World Cup of SA.
Day 15 of the World Cup of South Australia. We're back to the people component of the bracket. This will be the final. In fact, is the whole second round full? No, there's one more thing that needs to progress. This will be the last person to the second round. So one second round matchup for people is Maggie Beer up against Grant Stevens.
Oh, wow, what about that?
And whoever wins today will face off against Tony Modra. And the nice thing is, in each part of the bracket, people, food and drink, places and things, like Tony Modra v Scott Hodges footballers, today we've got people from one similar sector.
Okay. The envelopes. Oh, Barnesy. Jimmy Barnes. That's tough, Will.
Do you know what?
Tough for you.
Should we just allow audio to make the argument for us today?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because we're both of these people are musicians, so the argument might be made in music.
Really the bloody good song, isn't it? Great song.
Jimmy Barnes from the northern suburbs up against... Jimmy Barnes up against Paul Kelly for the World Cup of South Australia this morning. Who makes it through to face off against Tony Modra? Gee, the people are tough. 8223 is the number. World Cup of South Australia. Is it Jimmy Barnes or is it Paul Kelly who'll be making it through to the next round?
What's this line from? Kensington Road goes straight for a while before turning.
Oh, which Paul Kelly song is it? I can't think.
It's the one that locally is regarded as his most controversial. Adelaide.
It's called Adelaide. Yeah.
What is it? And all the great aunts are either insane or dead. The wisteria on the back veranda is still blooming. Such a good song. But it's actually not about his hatred of Adelaide. It's about his hatred of that time of his life when he was in Adelaide. I think it was when he was becoming a heroin addict.
Right.
And he was just really just going through hell. He wrote that amazing song White Train as well. That era of Paul Kelly, just so good. But Barnesy, what about Barnesy though? Barnesy.
Paul Kelly played.
You can't separate it.
He played the Carols a couple of years ago, and the whole thing almost got blown away by the rain, and it was almost cancelled. And Paul Kelly, I remember, was sitting there on the stage playing a song, and it looked like his guitar. The hollowed out part of the guitar was going to fill up with water. Such was the rain smashing into him. Tyson in Clarence Gardens, is it Jimmy Barnes or Paul Kelly making it through to the next round?
I didn't even know it was Paul Kelly, but not Jimmy Barnes.
So Paul Kelly.
Paul Kelly gets the vote.
Okay.
An anti-Jimmy Barnes vote. Okay. Wendy's in Elizabeth. So, Wendy, surely it's Jimmy Barnes for you.
It has to be. It has to be Jimmy.
Yes.
You can't go anywhere else.
No, the suburb always made it that way. Thank you, Wendy. Diane, Jimmy Barnes or Paul Kelly?
Paul Kelly.
Thank you,
Paul
Diane.
Kelly.
Paul Kelly's one away. Craig in North Plimpton.
Jimmy Barnes all the way.
So it's 2-2. 2-2.
Another tie-breaker
Hotly
required.
contested. I like it when it comes down to one person's vote for the World Cup of South Australia.
We've never spoken to Paul Kelly, you and I. I don't think we've ever interviewed him.
I feel like we have, but...
No, I don't think we have. I'm pretty sure we haven't. We've interviewed Barnesy.
Oh, I did.
God knows how many
You
times.
weren't here.
Really?
I interviewed him. Where
was I?
Yeah, it's been since Patrick's been
Don't tell me
producing.
I was in bed again.
8223 Paul Kelly. We've done lots of things while you've been otherwise engaged.
What about my loyal colleague Will? He had to address about 2,000 people at the function at the Adelaide Oval yesterday, and apparently I was the warm-up act, which, frankly, is fair enough.
No, Soda asked me about my routine with breakfast radio. I said, well, funny, you should ask me today. Let me take you through it. 8223 we need one more caller. Jimmy Barnes or Paul Kelly making it through to the next round? Ken in Onkaparinga Hills, who makes it through?
Well, I love them both, but I've got to say Paul Kelly.
Oh, Paul Kelly in a real surprise. World Cup of South Australia.
Wow.
It'll be Paul Kelly up against Tony Modra next round in the people side of the bracket.
What a combo.
Maggie Beer and Grant Stevens. That's going to be a lot of fun.
How the mighty have fallen.
29 after 8. Feedback Friday coming up. If you'd like to play, it's as simple as 4 questions, no wrong answers, and 3 magnificent prizes. Get calling right now, 8223 0000.
The end of financial year sale is now on at Cherry. Get a $1,000 fuel card with a Tiggo 4 or C5, or save $2,000 on a Tiggo 8 Super Hybrid or Tiggo 4 Hybrid. Head into your local Cherry dealer this end of financial year. Cherry, for the road ahead. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
If you haven't been to Turkey Flat Vineyards in the Barossa, honestly, what are you waiting for? It is less than an hour from the city and it feels like a completely different world.
That's right. You're sitting on the lawns with a glass of Shiraz that came from vines that are genuinely among the oldest in the world. Or if the weather's doing its thing, you're inside by the fire. Either way, no one is rushing you. It's such a beautiful spot. The cellar door itself is a converted butchery from the 1860s, which sounds like it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does.
So take the family, grab some friends, make a weekend of it. And here's something. Use code RADIO at the checkout to get 20% off when you buy any wine online. Turkey Flat Vineyards, Bethany Road, Tanunda. Drink responsibly.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
17 with a shower or two today with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
There's been mixed reaction to the state budget handed down yesterday. SA Business Chambers CEO Andrew Kay says businesses looking for a quick fix to the profitability squeeze won't find it.
There's a new $50 million R&D productivity fund over the next 4 years. There's a red tape reduction review, which is something that the Chamber asked for in our pre-election charter, so it's nice to see that's been given a run. But both these things are medium to long-term impact.
A driver's been arrested after a crash at Campbelltown on Wednesday night. 2 cars collided at the intersection of Newton and Montacute roads just before 10:30pm. One of the drivers, a 62-year-old Glenside man, remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries. The other, a 79-year-old Athelston man, wasn't injured, but he's been arrested and charged with causing harm by dangerous driving. He'll face court in July. Police are investigating a suspicious fire in the northern suburbs. Emergency crews were called to Wamma Road just after 3 this morning to find a home fully engulfed in flames. They managed to bring it under control within 10 minutes, rescuing and treating a dog at the property for smoke inhalation. The blaze is being treated as deliberate. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The man who was hailed a hero for disarming one of the attackers during the Bondi Beach terror attack is denying wrongdoing after being charged with common assault. Ahmed Al-Ahmed is accused of attacking his father during a dispute in Sydney in March. He's due to face court next month on domestic violence-related offences. He says it relates to an ongoing family dispute and is vowing to fight the charges.
This is untrue. It's a conflict. You know, it's good for the people to know I'm an honest, innocent, honourable guy. I never hurt anyone and I never been in violence.
The Prime Minister maintains Labor's tax changes are fair, claiming they'll lift housing supply and give workers extra money in their pocket. The government's legislation to rein in the capital gains tax discount and negative gearing concessions has passed the lower house. The bill includes a $250 tax offset and workers can claim an instant $1,000 on their expenses. Anthony Albanese has told Parliament it's important reform.
Every Labor member voted for aspiration for all, not just for some. And we did that by making sure that Australians can have a crack at owning their first home. Every Labor member voted for Australians to earn more and to keep more of what they earn.
Personal items from the estate of legendary radio broadcaster John Laws have sold at auction for more than $4.6 million. Another 4 online auctions are still scheduled to take place. Scientists have used mining technology to try to solve the mystery of Stonehenge. An international team has determined glacial ice was likely not responsible for shifting the monument's 6-ton altar stone as previously thought. Curtin University's Dr. Anthony Clark says although they still don't know how the boulders were moved, it was a great use of existing technology.
But we've just been using the same tools that we use in the mining industry to understand where your next gold or iron ore deposit is, to answer questions about human development, which I think is a really interesting application of these tools.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Tom Wren, my voice is fading after last night's big win at the Oval.
I don't think you're alone, Jess. It was an amazing game. Adelaide claiming an elusive top 8 scalp. They beat Geelong by a single point in what was simply a thriller last night. Now, despite the result, Cats coach Chris Scott is trying to look at the positives.
We had some really good performances that I think augur well for what might be later in the season for us. Dangerfield was as good as he's been all year, looking more like himself. That's as well as I've seen De Conning play sort of through the middle. We brought a couple of guys in who have been dominating the lower levels and they played well, Bowes and Wiltshire. Yeah, just not quite good enough to get it done.
Yeah, that win last night for the Crows was just their second victory over the Cats in their last 11 attempts. Meantime, Port Adelaide's players will head west today. That's ahead of tomorrow night's clash against West Coast in Perth. Let's go to tennis. Polish qualifier Maja Hulinska is going to face Russian Mira Andreeva in the women's final at the French Open. The unlikely Polish champ who entered the tournament as a qualifier defeated Diana Schneider 7-6, 6-4 in the semis. Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk lost in straight sets to Andreeva, who says she had no idea what to expect from the 115th ranked Hulinska.
I've never played against her and, obviously she's been playing amazing these 2 weeks, like 3 weeks for her, right? Because she passed through quali, so, she's been playing unbelievable.
She certainly has. Let's go to other sport. Aussie pole vaulter Nina Kennedy has won her Diamond League silver in Rome after clearing 4.8 metres. It follows her win in Morocco on Sunday. She now returns to Perth to continue her preparations for the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. One game to kick off round 14 in the NRL overnight with the Manly Sea Eagles 28 to 14-point winners against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And more international friendlies were played overnight as we warm up for the World Cup, which begins next week. Sweden and Greece drew 2-2. Spain and Iraq had a 1-1 draw, while the Ivory Coast upset France with a 2-1 win. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's check the traffic.
Morning there. Crash still getting sorted at Waterloo Corner. Taking a little while, this one. The north-south motorway near the interchange with delays. Still water over the road at Chrysler from all that weather over the last couple of days. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Sluggish right now at Edwardstown. South Road near Ackland Street. Getting busy Fullerton Road inbound near Glen Osmond Road and the Arkema Hotel. Camera Tapley's Hill Road, Fulham. Fantastic Furniture's biggest end of financial year sale is on now with selected sofas, beds, dining, kids and more at 40% off. Shop in-store or online. And C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
17 with a shower or two today, 17 with a possible shower tomorrow, 18 and partly cloudy on Sunday, partly cloudy and 19 for the holiday Monday. Right now it's 10 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
A full bottle of LPG? That's useful. 3 bottles? Even more useful. Your first 3 bottles of LPG for $99 each with delivery from Origin? That's all kinds of useful. Sign up by 30 September, only in selected areas. Equipment fee and T's and C's apply.
1-800-Medicare, you're speaking with a registered nurse. How can I help?
Hi, my daughter's got a fever that's not going down. I'm not sure what to do.
My GP's not available on weekends, so I don't know who to call.
The internet says it could be a few different things.
Ask 1-800-Medicare for free, non-emergency health advice, 24/7 from registered nurses, connecting you to the right care for your health concern. Call 1-800-633-422, authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Do you have a concern about your aged care? If you have feedback or concerns, you can talk to your provider. They must respect your right to choice, dignity and feeling safe. You can also talk to the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission. We help resolve issues and take action when needed. Safe, quality care is your right. Find out more at agedcarequality.gov.au or call 1800 951 822.
There's lots to love about learning just about anything you want with WEA. Just name it. And remember, it's real-time, face-to-face learning, so you'll always get answers to your questions. WEA has 22 language courses on offer and over 80 cooking and wine appreciation courses. Or maybe learn about subdividing land and property development, gardening, music and performing arts for hobbies. For face-to-face learning you'll love, visit wea-sa.com.au.
Moving out. Moving in. New job. First paycheck. Popping the question. Building your future. Having a baby. Having another baby. Needing a reno. Life happens fast. That's why with Bendigo Bank you can open an account in just minutes right from your phone. With no monthly fees and 24/7 fraud protection, we're bigger for banking that suits you every day. Find us in the App Store today to open your account. Bendigo Bank. The better big bank. Eligibility criteria, terms and conditions and other fees apply.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 9, Feedback Friday in just a moment. Marco, Amber and Paul ready and waiting to go. All three of them have already won prizes. We'll get to the questions very, very shortly. Foodie Friday today. Stick around for that after 3 p.m.
Chris Jarma
with Stacey Lee. Probably
food's so amazingly good that you're not allowed to serve it at the Adelaide Oval anymore.
The danger is you'll bankrupt the entire Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Jarma's Kitchen, head in there for a good feed. It's superb. Magnificent. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Deputy Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Pals.
Feedback. Friday today, so have you say feedback.
We have the Smeg Appliance and some $50 Kent Town Hotel vouchers. The Kent Town Hotel with spaces for every occasion and size. Inquire today.
Great pub.
Great spot.
What about Andrew on the text line? How's this for some quality fake ID work? Andrew says, I first saw Barnsey at the White Horse Inn in the late 70s when I was 10.
Oh, 10. The White Horse. It was on the door that night. All right. Marco in Paralawi, good morning.
Hello, boys.
Marco, federal budget, state budget. How do you go managing your budget?
Oh, God, very
Rate
hard.
yourself out of 10.
Oh, out of 10. Oh, 5.
All right, that's fair. That's a pass.
Yeah.
Please make degrees.
Exactly.
Would you get in a driverless taxi, Marco? The New South Wales government are in talks with Waymo about a trial there.
I would, yeah, I'd try it. I would.
I went in a driverless vehicle last night. It was good fun.
What happened?
Oh, mate,
No, he's still here.
Yeah, fine. No dramas.
He seems all right. What show bag would you get at the Royal Adelaide Show, Marco, if you walked in today and had to get a show bag?
Off by hand, licorice, all sorts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about Gag Magic, Marco? You a whoopee cushion guy?
Yeah, for sure.
Gag Magic doesn't still exist, does it?
I'm not sure.
I think I've still got it.
Yeah, something along those lines exists.
Just that our man went very quiet earlier in the week when we started talking about Gag Magic at the show bag trials.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. He stopped talking when we started talking about whoopee cushions and fake vomit. I started reading some signs over the airwaves. Marco, what's your favourite piece of citrus fruit?
I'd have to be orange.
Yeah. The orange? Yeah, we spoke about the citrus growing conditions in the country a little bit earlier this week. Thank you, Marco. Amber in North Haven, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Sorry about my voice, but I've got the dreaded COVID.
Oh
Amber,
no, Amber.
Poor thing.
How are you getting on? Is it
Help the whole well, I have my stuff gin and vodka, so that helps.
You know what? You got to get through how you can, Amber. It's up to you.
Well, hey, I'm 70. It's worked before, so it'll work now.
There you go.
And, in fact, I thought this was all over, and then you said your boys, Dave, had them.
Yeah, they both had it.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of kids
anyway,
at school have had it like
continue on. I don't want to waste your time.
No, you know what, Amber, when talking with you is not a waste of our time at all.
No, I love you.
Does the number 28 mean anything to you?
28? Oh, you've given me a tough question. 28. 28's obviously a football question.
No, it's actually about Australia hit 28 million people earlier this week.
28 million?
Yes.
You know, I was listening to 3AW, as I do, because I don't sleep, and Tony was counting it down.
Is that right?
And he predicted it would be 5:30, but the boys in Adelaide got it at 6 o'clock.
Bang on 6. Matt Pantelis broke the news.
That's right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Amber, if you had to go down, and you can't at the moment because you've got COVID, obviously, but if you had to go down the big freeze slide, who would you dress up as?
Oh, definitely Dame Edna.
Oh, that's a great one, Amber.
Yeah, but and I'd have my gladiole eyes and the glasses and the wig and I love Dame Edna.
You could talk about your husband Norman, his trouble with his prostate as well.
Oh, yes. And what about that crazy friend of hers? I forget what
Madge.
her name was. Madge.
She's just standing there silently with her little old handbag.
Hey, Amber, we've had a few news stories over the course of the last week about people being trapped. Would you rather be trapped in quicksand at Glenelg or in a cave in Laos?
Oh, I'll go for the quicksand because there's a pub pretty close.
We should get you on the show
Amber,
every week, Amber.
You've got a wonderful
absolute
outlook on
treasure.
life. That was magnificent.
I can see Amber down there in the quicksand still holding her martini.
Yeah, the glass will be the last thing that disappears.
Yeah. It'd be like in James Bond. Oh, Mr. Bond, you're all wet. Yes, but my martini is still dry.
Amber's excellent. Let's go to Evanston Gardens. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, boys.
Do you like rain, Paul?
I love rain. Absolutely love
Well,
it.
guess what? You've had a good week then, I guess.
I have had a good week. I can't walk in my backyard. It's absolutely flooded. But, no, I love the sound of rain on the roof. And, the idea of being able to sit in front of a picture window and watch the rain come in and the storms roll in.
Yeah,
that's a nice spot.
Hey, Paul, when were you the last person standing?
Gee, that's probably a bit embarrassing. At a works Christmas show probably 20 years ago when I was the last one out of the building trying to get under a gate so I could get out and get a cab home.
Well done, Paul. That's good. That was inspired by my Wednesday morning at 6:15. There were 6 members of the breakfast show. Guess who was here? Me. I was the only schmuck that turned up. Since you love the rain, Paul, have you got a favourite song about the weather?
Can't Stand the Rain probably is the first one that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Ironically, given your position on rain.
Yeah, exactly.
And the rain. And just lastly, Paul, the biggest contributor to the debt, as we heard from the Treasurer earlier, is the cost of South Road. Do you reckon we should put a toll on South Road when it's done to pay it back quicker?
Mate, I was just reading that in the paper this morning. No, I don't. Like, it's not something that we agree with. Like, South Australia doesn't have toll roads.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that is the prevailing opinion.
And you're right, Paul. It will never happen because neither side of politics would be mad enough to advocate it.
Absolutely.
They're both on the record saying
the only way you'd advocate is if not to pay back debt is if it was funding something else that was really awesome that a lot of people liked.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is unfortunately why paying down debt is never cool in politics.
Can we just reflect on the quality of the questions this week? They were superb. I thought one of the high points of radio was Amber's answer to the "Would you rather be trapped in quicksand or a Laotian cave?"
I think
question.
I'll
take the quicksand.
The questions are always good. That's Paddy and Em and the domain of our production team. The answers were just exceptional.
Oh, hard to split them.
So we got the Kent Town hotel vouchers, 2 of them.
I reckon we'll give given that she's homebound at the moment, it makes sense for Marco and Paul to get the Kent Town vouchers, and I reckon Amber too, with her love of the occasional tipple. If she doesn't have a Smeg blender to knock up a margarita for herself, she does now.
All right, building or renovating your first choice, you'll be visiting the Smeg showroom at Deputy Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg.
Waterloo Corner still sorting out their smash from earlier this morning, the north-south motorway near the interchange, but it's still water over the water at Crayford from the rain over the past couple of days. Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout. Slow for works at Ascot Park, Marion Road near Contana Avenue, and getting busy at Keswick for works too, Richmond Road near Marlow Road this morning. Early morning camera, Porter Expressway, Gilman. Save 20% when you spend $19.99 with Amart Spend and Save. That's right, save big across all furniture at Amart. Spend and save must end soon. Hurry into Amart. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove with everything from the ground up. Plants and instant lawn, mulches, soils and bark, landscape and building materials, hardware, pavers and more. There's a playground for the kids while you enjoy coffee or lunch in the cafe. Garden Grove, Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove. Open 7 days. Phone 8251 1111 for delivery to your area.
Garden Grove, the garden that I want. You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie, family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia, with a new fleet and plenty of hybrid options too. Experience the exceptional service that earned us Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. Book direct and save now at redspot.com.au today, or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
Sold by McGain again.
And as you know, there are limited homes out there, so you've got to get along to these open inspections.
Tomorrow from 11 to 11:30am. I love this team. Sam Quaff the Raven and Zoe Ball are opening 1/15 Pimpala Road, Old Ranella. This property stands no chance with those two at the helm. This beautifully updated unit features a renovated kitchen, a spacious lounge with floating floors, updated bathroom and 2 good-sized bedrooms. The neat unit is move-in ready, perfect for first-home buyers or downsizers like you. You're going to have to call them quick because this one's going to go 639 to 659K.
Then tomorrow from 12:15 to 12:45, Sam and Baz, they're back at it again. 16 Middle Gully Avenue in beautiful Shido Park. Love Shido Park. This beautiful 3-bed home has been freshly painted. It's ready for the lucky new owners to move in and enjoy. With 2 good-sized living areas, 2 separate bathrooms, undercover outdoor entertaining and a spacious 604 square metre block. 879 to 899K.
Take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
One blood donation can save up to 3 lives. The power's in your veins. Make the most of it and book a donation today. Lifeblood. Life is the reason.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Harvey Norman's half-yearly clearance is on now, and there are some terrific deals on Acer technology. That means it's the best time to grab the Acer Aspire Go 15.6-inch laptop, now just $798, powered by an Intel Core 3 processor with 16 gig of RAM, a 512 gig SSD, and full HD display. Or save $500 on the Acer Swift Go 14 AI laptop, now $1,298, featuring a Core Ultra 5 processor, 16 gig of RAM, a 512 gig SSD and 14-inch OLED screen. And for gamers, save $80 on the Acer Nitro 27-inch Full HD monitor, now just $178. Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best clearance prices.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 minutes to 9. It's time to water meat tray thanks to Olga's Fine Foods. It looks spectacular. We've been looking at it on the live stream all morning, and there can only be one winner.
There can be, and I have a mental picture of Mario with his feet up, having a pedicure while eating an Olga's Chivapchichi.
Mario, of course, who
What a
confessed that
combination.
the last thing to go from his home budget would be his pedicure budget, which he's become addicted to after he broke his ribs and couldn't cut his nails, so he started getting pedicures done, and he can't quit the pedicure.
Well, you know, once you start, you can't stop.
That's
what they
exactly
say.
right. Fuel watch time. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. The cheap spots, the BP X Convenience at Port Adelaide, $1.53.9. And diesel-wise, the cheapest is well under $2. Solar Marion's at $1.97.5 for diesel. That's a great price.
Certainly is. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of love for Amber on the text line. Matt in Salisbury Heights, just give Amber the prizes. Give her all the prizes, he said. Scott and Modbury said the same thing. Boys, would it really be that bad if we gave Amber all the prizes? And a lot of people saying they want to get her on more regularly because she is an absolute riot.
She was good fun. All right, should we count down the top 5 moments of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been 1 week. The top 5 of the week.
Here we go in the 5th spot.
They've got the guts to see what you're thinking.
David's recitation of the One Nation theme song during the South Australian election campaign. They should just use that next time out, I think.
Save them a bit of money.
It would. The number 4...
How did we even get to that?
I don't know how we get to
that
anywhere.
That was when we were talking to Phil.
It was. The number 4 spot.
So the 28 parrot is a subspecies of the Australian ringneck. It gets its name from its distinctive whistling contact call, which sounds exactly like a person saying 28. 28, 28. Just walking along, suddenly, that was a good sound effect, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was excellent. David's sound effects. He's a full suite of sound effects this week. In fact, you dominated the top 5, singing the One Nation theme song, turning into a 28 parrot, and then impersonating the sound of people getting caught up in quicksand in Glenelg. Yeah, I tell you what, the bloke in Police Academy is lucky you didn't come around first.
His name? Number Goldthroat or something?
Number 3 spot.
That's when the panic started to set in, and turned to Google originally to see what to do, but nothing proved to work, so emergency services was called.
What does Google tell you how to get out of quicksand? What was the technique?
Not to panic. Well, that was already happening. And
because I honestly said at the end of this, I looked at my dog and said, no one must ever know about this.
Our 2 quicksand victims in South Australia that were at Glenelg going for a walk and got stuck. One of them had time to quickly Google, what do you do if you're stuck in quicksand?
We ended up with 3 in the end. Helen rang in.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We had a 3rd.
Yeah.
All right, the number 2 spot.
Yeah, look, I was just saying that my co-commentator, the great Patrick Goldsmith, of course. And
that's excellent.
Paddy's going to be calling the AFL game this weekend with Tim Ginniver. Patrick, just in case you're wondering, Tim Ginniver. Poor old Timmy, we've all been there. I think Patrick had no idea that was going to be in the top 5 either.
I've always loved working with my close friend and colleague, what's his name?
They'll know each other after calling a game of footy together this weekend. Emily Brand, 3 votes for that. That's excellent. The number 1 spot.
Can we just reflect, possibly the dumbest question I've ever asked in almost 11 years working with you is, are the children brought in to test them for safety?
Yeah. So what they aim, as long as a kid doesn't die...
Don't swallow that.
Yeah. No, Timmy, can you just see that small plastic thing? Swallow it, because we need to see what will happen.
Hang on, no. No, that does appear to be toxic.
Yeah. Hey, Tina, can you pull the battery out of that? Yeah, you can. Yeah, can you pop it in your mouth? Yeah, we're going to have to cancel that show back. Yeah. But on reflection, that we should apologise to the Royal Show. They had that lovely story about the show bag testers. Earlier in the week, and it just went off the rails. Sometimes it does. It's live radio. We can't help it.
No, exactly. That wasn't a very good question.
So just to reiterate and make clear for the good people of the Royal Agricultural Society, the show bag testing is not to test the show bags for the likelihood that they will kill or maim young children.
Reminds me of the line in The Jerk, the great Steve Martin film, about the glasses that he invents called the OptiGrab that send everybody cockeyed. He had the temerity to release a product that they didn't even have the decency to test on prisoners. The late Carl Reiner, father of Rob Reiner.
There you go. Rob Reiner, of course. One of the great directors. All right,
late Rob Reiner, too, now, sadly.
We're out of time. Graham Goodings is coming up.
Have a great weekend, a long weekend, folks. Enjoy it.
We'll see you Tuesday. The premiere is coming up next.